NotebookLM just got a huge update, and most people are still using it wrong. They upload one PDF, ask a few questions, maybe make a podcast, then never touch it again. But here's what nobody is showing you. This free Google tool can run your whole business brain for you. Your content, your research, customer calls, training, lead magnets, all from one place. And you don't need to pay for expensive AI tools. You don't need to be technical. You don't even need to know how to code. And today, I'm going to show you the exact system I use to turn NotebookLM into a complete business hub. We're going to test the newest features together. I'm going to show you how to build all sorts of systems for this. And this is my personal 30-day framework that takes you from like a beginner to really mastering NotebookLM. So you're going to see, for example, how to create content, how to automate this, how to train the AI to create audios for you, how to build podcasts that grow your audience. We're going to show you how to make lead magnets. And I'm also going to give you the full 30-day roadmap for this as we go through it so you can learn exactly how to use this incredibly powerful tool. Now, if you've never tested it out before, what you can do is just click on try NotebookLM, and then from here you can get started. All right, so this is where you're going to see everything. This is where you create your notebooks. You can see some featured ones at the top. You've got all of my notebooks here as well. Then we've got notebooks that people shared with me as well, which is pretty cool. And this is all inside NotebookLM. Now, it is unbelievably powerful when it comes to creating content. And I'll show you some of the best systems today. This is going to be like kind of a course running you through everything, including exactly how to use it and everything else, plus a 30-day roadmap. But you can see, for example, here we've got the source, and I've actually uploaded a Google Doc, but you could upload all sorts of sources. You know, it could be Google Drive, website, YouTube, copy and paste text. You can drag and drop files straight into that. And then over here, you've got all these different methods of creating content. So, for example, audio views, video views, mind maps, reports, flashcards, quizzes, infographics, slide decks, data tables. And you could do all of this with NotebookLM. And the craziest thing about this is it's free, right? Like, what other tool out there is there that has all of this functionality and it's baked in for free? So it's pretty amazing. And we're going to run through exactly how to use it today. So let's get straight into this. I am Bruh says, hey, yo, if you have any questions as we go along, and good to see all the people here on the live stream, feel free to ask. We do have notes inside the AI Success Lab. So if you want to join a community with 40,600 members, as you can see, and you can post inside the community, you can join all of us, but also inside the classroom here, you'll see the new automations set up, and we've got all the course notes from today. So if you want to learn this stuff, you've got it inside here. We're going to talk about the 30-day notebook business system. So if you want to create your first notebook, you know, all the links are inside this course, as you can see, with all the resources, completely free, link in the comment description. As we go through it, right, what I'm going to show you is my personal system for turning NotebookLM into a powerful AI automation system. It works in 4 stages. So you can upload everything, you can train your AI clone, you can create content, and you can scale your knowledge as well. All right. Now, if you want to create your first notebook, let's start with the basics. All you do is you go to create new over here, and then you're going to plug in your sources, right? Pretty simple and easy. So let's say, for example, we wanted to plug in some sources from my personal content collection, which I recommend for you as well, because you know you want to be creating this stuff. What you can do is create notebook and then just name it after your business or niche, right? So for example, over here we can say, okay, this is the Goldie Agency Knowledge Base, right? Which is my SEO agency, so I can just name it after my business. You could name it also after your name, your brand, whatever you want, but this is one of the easiest ways to do that. What else we got here? No Limit says, thank you for the value. Always happy to help. Can we make a presentation for a YouTube video, yo, in NotebookLM? Yes. I'm glad you asked, my friend. All right, let's kick it off straight with that. So how do you create a presentation through a YouTube video URL in NotebookLM? Let me show you how, right? So first thing you're going to do, you're going to go to YouTube, right, to get that YouTube URL that you want to plug in. So let's say, for example, I want to build one, and it's going to be specifically about the latest AI news this week, right? I can copy this video URL, as you can see, and then what I'm going to do over here, we're going to go back to NotebookLM. We're going to add sources here. We are going to type in YouTube, paste in the YouTube URL over here, hit insert. And what that's going to do is train the notebook in literally a couple of seconds, as you can see now, using that video URL. Now, how do you generate a slide deck? What you do is you go over to the slide deck section over here, and you can choose how you want to generate this, right? So you can select present the slides, and this is basically clean visual slides with key talking points to support you whilst you speak. that's great. Or if you want something super detailed with lots of cool diagrams and that sort of thing, I actually use Nano Banana, which is Google's latest image generator. You can choose your language out here. So pretty much all the main languages are in here, which is pretty awesome. I think even like Thai and stuff like that is on the list, which is pretty crazy. You got, you know, different forms of Chinese, traditional, simplified, etc. All your main languages over there. So you can select, let's just go with English, keep it simple. And then you can choose between short, default, and long. Long, obviously it's going to be longer. Short, obviously it's going to be shorter. And bear in mind, the longer it is, the longer it's going to take to generate, right? And then from here, you just describe the slide deck you want to create, right? So for example, we could say, okay, create a slide deck for beginners or for AI enthusiasts and entrepreneurs on exactly how to use the latest updates from AI this week for their business, right? Plus, and you know, you could even say something like plus turn it into a 30-day plan that they can implement, right? Pretty nice. You don't even need to worry about like spelling mistakes, stuff like that. It's all going to handle it for you, right? So don't worry about typos. Then you're going to hit generate. That'll take a few minutes to generate, but we can come back to that in a second. But essentially, that's how you can do it, all right? So Click Stanger says, Merry Christmas, mister. Good to see you here as well. Thank you. Happy Christmas. And then I am Burr says, absolutely great, sir. Thanks a lot for teaching us this. It's an absolute pleasure. Rabu Hood says hi as well. Good to see you here. Where you watching from? Let me know in the comments, like where where are you watching from, that sort of thing. I'd love to know, which countries you're watching from, what you're doing on Boxing Day today, that sort of thing. We got Merry Shipmas. That's what we're talking about. That's it. We are creating some awesome AI stuff. We got from Germany, Guten Tag to you, sir. Now we've got the notebook created over here. All right. So I've shown you how to create your first notebook. How easy was that? I've shown you how to create a slide deck with it. Now, what I'd recommend is that you actually upload your best 10 pieces of content. This could be blog posts, could be video scripts, could be podcasts. Upload them all to Notebook, right? Now, I'll show you why in a minute. I'll give you some prompts that you can use this for in a second, all right? We got Romania. I was actually there last year. I was speaking at an event last year in Romania. Love the place, love the people. Actually had a singing teacher from Romania as well. And then India, good to see you here. Got a lot of friends from India, so awesome to see you here as well. And we're going to keep going through this, all right? So let's say you want to create like the content automation masterpiece, right? So what I'm going to do is I will go through to the Goldie Agency notebook, right, which is this one right here. I'm actually going to delete that one. I'll delete the source for now, right? Let's remove the source. Okay. And now we're going to pull in some information about me. Now, what I'm actually going to do just to speed this up, and this is really useful for you to know as well, is that you can do deep research, you can do fast research, right? I'm just going to go with fast research to make it quick and easy. And from here, we are going to plug in what we want to do, right? So I'm going to say inside here, okay, find all of Julian Goldie's best pieces of content about AI, particularly from social media. Right? We'll pull that in and we could just automatically find it. All right. I'm loving all the notebook videos. I'm loving it too. We got No Limits from Atlanta. Good to see you. I was in the US a few months ago, actually, for the school games. I was in Los Angeles last month, not even a few months ago. We've got UK, Claire, always good to see a fellow Brit. Ukraine, good to see you. I'm from England, if people are asking. That's where I'm from. And then Click Stanley says, if I come here again to another event, please let me know. I want a real photo. Ah, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. It'd be a pleasure. It'd be an honor to meet you. So thank you. So we're pulling in these sources. As you can see, this is taking in the best sources of my content, right? Now, you can do that manually, or if the content is fairly well known, if it's getting good traction, then you can just pull it in automatically using the fast research method that I'm showing you today, right? So we've pulled all these in. If you don't like some of this stuff, right, you can just unselect it like so. But that's how you can pull in like all your sources of your best quality content. So we're going to click import like so. That's how you're going to pull in all the information from our website, from YouTube, from everything else, right? And now we've pulled in all the sources. Some of them might fail. Like, for example, this one has actually failed to import. That's okay. No big deal. We've got tons of others, right? Let's move on. Machiavelli says, shout out my guy. Good to see you, man. All right. So now you can see we've pulled in these sources right here. Right. We're still waiting for that slide deck, which we'll come on to in a second. Why am I not uploading 4K videos? Well, it depends where I'm at, right? So if I'm back in Bangkok, which is where I normally stay, then I'll record in 4K. But if I'm recording like today, and it's just kind of on the fly, then I don't have the setup for 4K, sadly. But I think it does like upload in 4K normally if I check out my videos on YouTube. If not, it's definitely 1080p. I think 1080p is more than enough. So now we're going to say, okay, analyze my uploaded content and tell me, what topics do I talk about the most? What's my unique voice? What patterns do you see in my teaching style, right? And, all the notes from today are inside that free community I just showed you a minute ago, but we're going to plug that in and this will just start looking for the answers. So just like I said, if you want to see this stuff, like I've got all the prompts from today and I'm just going to run you through exactly how to use it. But if you want to copy and steal these prompts, all you do is you would go to the AI Success Lab. You can either Google it, ask ChatGPT, or just link in the comments if you watch it on YouTube. And then if you go to Classroom over here, you're going to go to December. You can find all the details of what we're covering today. All right. Including like the framework, the notes, everything else, and the 30-day framework. All right. So we're on stage 2, which is analyzing our content. Now, if we go back to NotebookLM, you can see here it's actually giving us some really cool ideas on like what content works the best. All right. So for example, what we got here. So which one tool you use when you automate? I'm not sure what you mean there, but if you want to clarify the question, feel free to ask. So let's have a look here. What topics do you talk about the most? Your content ecosystem revolves around the intersection of SEO, AI, automation, and agency scaling, right? With a heavy emphasis on replacing manual work with AI, right? And so over here, we can just quickly gather some stuff about, okay, what makes our content unique? What's our unique voice? What's the patterns that we have, right? And all your chat history is actually saved inside NotebookLM as well, which is pretty awesome. So you just come back to it later. I would love more work on anti-gravity. I'm struggling with automation tools. I have no real skills, but I want to do more. Yeah, I'll come on to anti-gravity later actually in this live stream. So don't worry about that. And if you're watching back on YouTube, the replay, just type in Julian Goldie anti-gravity. You'll probably find the video. So we're going to keep going through now. We've got this generating like so. And then what we're going to do is actually add our customer research, right? So we're going to create a doc with our best customer questions. And we can pull in, for example, emails. That could be comments. It could be DMs, right? And this is really cool. So what I can actually do over here is I can actually, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. It's pretty nice, right? So let's say, for example, I've got all my customer questions inside the AI profit boardroom, like you see right here, right? If I just go to the question section, you can see that everyone's just helping each other inside the AI profit boardroom, pulling in questions, etc. Right? So what I can actually do is copy all the information, select all the information on the page, copy all of that, right? Then I'm going to go over to something like Claude, and I'm going to paste in that information, and I'll say extract the questions from this page, just the questions, and listen, right? And so what we're going to do around here is start extracting the questions from the page, just get the questions, and then we'll actually load them directly into NotebookLM as a note of my customer common FAQs, right? So you can see here, we've taken all the questions, extracted them quickly. We're going to go back to NotebookLM and we're going to plug this in. So if we add sources here, copy text, paste that bad boy in, insert that. Now we've inserted it, as you can see, right? That's the information, right? And then you see that's a sort of forum digest, right, of the common questions we get. Now we can actually rename the source, which is what you want to do. So you want to put custom FAQs here. Now you can see that we're beginning to get some good FAQs inside this, right? So we're going to hit save on that. And then we can start generating this. All right. So now we've taken the top FAQs into NotebookLM and we can use this prompt. So based on these customer questions, what are the top 10 problems my audience is trying to solve? List them in order of how often they come up. Right? And so we plug this in. I'm going to say use the sources from the customer FAQs. And we'll hit enter like so. Right? It's basically going to find like all the top questions my customers ask, and then I can use that for content. I can use that for understanding my avatar better. I can use that for creating better hooks, etc. Right, and figuring out what my audience wants. And this is now examining the options, working its magic. In the meantime, let's go back to that slide deck we created earlier because that's finally ready. And now you can see we've got the 30-day implementation plan for using AI, right? And you see how it's created this beautiful presentation, automatically organized it, created something awesome, and it's turned that into a beautiful presentation that we can then use, right? So we've just automated that presentation directly from a YouTube video. How easy was that, right? So you can see how powerful this stuff is, and you can see all the questions that it's actually coming up with. So, for example, your audience struggles with convincing others. So, for example, their clients or their bosses or employees to adopt these tools. Here's a problem. Here's a question. Here's a goal. Here's some ideas on like content you could create. Right, pretty powerful. So, we're going to keep going through now. Sir, please take and drink 1 glass of water. Your voice was in dull mode. You savages! I'm just trying to help you here, guys. All right. If you like that comment, if you found that funny, I did, then just let me know inside the chat. Shout out to the jokers inside the comments here. What's your view on the doomsday for AI taking jobs and universal credit? Um, like AI is going to take jobs, so it's also going to make jobs. Like if I look at how many people I've hired before and after AI, I've hired a lot more people now, and that's simply because I can empower them with better tools, better workflows. I can give them everything I'm teaching, and so we can create much better stuff, right? Whereas, for example, previously it was way harder to do that, right? We just couldn't create the same sort of quality of stuff. We couldn't train people as quickly, and so like we're hiring more than ever, right? Um, for top ranking in SEO, which AI is the best? I would recommend using Claude. Claude is the best. If you want to see how we do that, check out the AI Profit Boardroom. But you can see inside, for example, our Google Search Console. So this is our Search Console and the results we're getting with this stuff. All right. You can see that our results are pretty awesome with Claude, right? So we're getting great results with Claude. Would highly recommend. It is insanely powerful, as you can see today. Claude is a chat for coding. Would agree. Is it Claude? Gemini? Yeah, I've already said Claude. Just check in the replay for this. In the if you want to watch a replay, just go to YouTube. Right. If you go to YouTube live section here, you can watch a replay right there, so you can see the replay of all my live streams previously. If you want to get access to this stuff, can we edit that presentation? Let's have a look. So if we go back to the presentation over here, so this is a slide deck automated with AI. We can click on show prompt and we can copy that. And what I'd recommend here is like, if you want to edit it, you can actually download that, right? So you can download it now. And then the way that you would edit it is you just go to slides.google.com, pull this presentation in, and then you can just import the document. If that doesn't work, it might not work because it's like PDF. What you can actually do is just go to, you can just go get like a PDF to slides converter and then open it up in Google Slides, right? And that's how you would handle it. Is single lecture mode available in NotebookLM? Not sure what you mean on that, to be honest. There we go. All right, we're back in the game now. But yeah, so we're going to keep going through. And Perfect Home says you can also edit the slides in Canva after a few days. Do you know what? I think I've actually rented with Perfect Homes in Chiang Mai. So awesome job on your business, man. Shout out to Perfect Homes Chiang Mai. If you move into Chiang Mai, check it out. All right, so we're going to keep going through now. And we've already done, for example, we've created the first notebook, we've created a slideshow presentation, we've uploaded our best content, we've added the customer research, and now we're going to start using competitor research, right? Now, here's how I would do this, right? I would actually go to YouTube, find your top 5 videos in your niche, copy the transcripts, or just copy the video URLs and upload them to Notebook, right? And what you can actually do is you can say, compare my content style to these competitor transcripts. What do I do better? What gaps can I fill that they're missing, right? So, for example, we're going to go back to NotebookLM here. We're going to create a new one here, and we can just copy the text, or we can just add in the URLs, right? And we're plugging that prompt in a second. So we're going to add some video URLs here. I'm just going to add one of my videos, and then I'll compare it to another channel. Just see how it goes, right? So you could, for example, like take an example URL like that, insert that in. There we go. And then I'm not going to take one of my competitors live on this live stream, but you could take one of your competitors' videos. I'm just going to take an example of a video from YouTube here, from another channel of mine. We'll plug that in as well. We're going to rename this as my content, and then we'll add a new source here. Add a source, and we'll call this YouTube, and this will be my competitor's content. All right, so we'll rename this as competitor content, right? And that will say, okay, compare my content versus my competitors, and then we'll take this prompt like so, plug this in, and push that in like so. All right. What software do you use to stream and have virtual background all at once? StreamYard is the best for that. It helps me stream across multiple platforms as well, which is awesome. Is this a software limitation? I added the origami transition in PowerPoint, but when I presented it in WPS, I'm not sure about that. I don't really mess around with like the transitions and that, to be honest. All right, so how do you get one person on the podcast? So let's see if you can. I don't know if you actually can. So I think you can only have, so if you generate a podcast, and I'll create one right now, but if you generate a podcast like so, it's always going to have 2 people inside there. I don't think it's going to have like just one. It doesn't just create just one person. And then Flame says, with all the Google updates, have you tried making SEO content with the techniques you are using now compared with the results you get from Claude? Yeah, so I mean, I'm always testing and trying new things and that sort of thing. Honestly, like I test these tools out every single day. I test Gemini. Gemini is great for coding, great for building apps, great for creating images, great for creating videos, just not that good for creating content. Like the content for social media, I would never use Gemini. The content for SEO, I would never use Gemini, right? It's just not as good. It's just not as humanized, you know? That's a big difference. It's just not as sentient. So we've done all of this. Now we're going to create our first audio overview, and this can create a podcast from your sources, and then you can listen back, right? So if you go back to NotebookLM here, we've created the podcast, right? This is the audio overview. Now you can inside here add custom instructions. So if you want the podcast itself to be focused on a specific topic or a certain type of content, etc., then you can do it inside here. I'm not going to worry about that, but you can use those sort of things if you need to. All right. Now, if you go back to a previous podcast that I've created, for example, like this one, you can see that we've got a podcast over here that was one I made earlier, right? Now, it also has this interactive mode where you can actually interact with the podcast host as it's created the content. I'm actually going to play this back for you, and you can see what you think and have a little listen to it. So let's play that back right now.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we take the sources you share with us and distill them into pure, valuable insight.
Today we have something really unique. It's not a white paper or a book.
No, it's an internal document.
All right, so you can see how we've created that. We can actually skip through here.
The client site isn't ranking #1 for any keyword. What happens?
The agency provides free, ongoing strategic consulting and support.
Right?
The deal is dead.
The emotion is gone, so they have to master objection handling. It starts with the 1 to 10 scale check.
On a scale.
So you can see here how you can create these podcasts. You skip through them. You can actually download that, or you can share it with your team, and you can change the playback speed here as well. But basically, the main point here is that you can create customized podcasts. You can use that to market your business. You can use that to create podcast content that you can learn from, and you can also use that for training your team as well. So there's many different use cases for NotebookLM and the podcast that it creates. Now, as far as I'm aware, it's always going to have 2 podcast hosts interacting with each other. So I don't think you can just create one. But that's basically how you can use this with NotebookLM to quickly generate podcasts and audio and that sort of thing really easily using this process. All right. So next up, what we're going to do, we're going to create our brand voice doc. All right. So what you can actually do here, this is quite interesting. This is how I would do it. Right. So if you go to Goldie Agency, the NotebookLM that we've just created over here, what I can actually do is I've pulled in all my content, right? This is all my content of different videos that I've created recently, right? Now, what I can do is because NotebookLM can analyze the transcripts from these videos and use them as sources, it can use that for pattern recognition as well, right? And so if we say, okay, based on my content, create a brand voice that includes my tone, common phrases I use, how I explain complex things, and words I avoid, right? And we'll plug that into NotebookLM like so. And now we can actually use that to create a brand voice, NotebookLM. Hopefully you can hear me well enough here. Clickstanger says, we hear you very low volume. If you have any, if it's not working, or if the audio's bad, just let me know. Scully says Goldie Pop. I don't know what that means, but I like it. And we're generating that summary of our brand voice, right? So we've created a brand voice document here. Now, what we can actually do is we can take all of this information and then we can plug that into a Google Doc, and we've created like a brand voice document that we can use for future content. All right. So if we pop this in here, like so, we've got access to this now, right? And so now you can see that we have a full document. It breaks down our core tone and personality, everything else, right? I'm actually going to plug that into Markdown Preview. And then we can plug this in and we can actually, it's a bit easier to read like so. And we've created this nicely here. Now, what we can actually do is go to Gemini, which is also free. And that's what NotebookLM is actually powered by, right? We can go to Canvas here and we can say, okay, create a beautiful, and we'll change this to fast, create a beautiful landing page or create a beautiful document that explains my core brand voice. And it will start to create like a really nice brand voice document. Thank you very much. Yeah, so brand voice document, great idea. Thank you. Prasanna says voice to text tool you use or speech recognition tool. So I actually use for voice text, I use a Link Whisper, right? Link Whisper is, Whisperflow. Whisperflow is really powerful. I use it pretty much every single day. Really powerful tool for just giving you voice notes and then translating that into text. You can actually type, right? So if you, I'll open it up now. I can show you what I mean. So if we go inside here, hey, what am I typing right now? So you see how that's typed it out for us here. And then you can plug that in. And it basically gets my speech right, first time every time. So if you go inside here, we've now got the brand document, right? And that's beautifully designed. We did have this. It doesn't look very good. I'm not going to use that. I'd much prefer to plug that through Gemini, create a beautiful document using the canvas. You can do this all for free. And then from here, you can say, okay, create a web page, create an infographic, create a quiz, create flashcards, create an audio view, right? It's pretty cool. So if we actually wanted to take that like so, we can just grab this and reformat it, or we can copy this like so, go to a new Google Doc. So just go to docs.new if you want to create a Google Doc really quickly. Now you can see we've created our brand voice blueprint based on our whole process, right? And that's personalized for us and how we talk, etc. Right. And then you can also turn that into a web page, right? So we can say, okay, create a web page out of that. And we just create like a beautiful web page based on the brand voice document. And we automated that between NotebookLM and Gemini, as you can see today. So that's something really powerful as well. And then you can use that as a playbook for your team, for your business, etc. And everything is like consistent. Scully Pop says, I find that Claude writes the best copy, great place to polish final copies. I would 100% agree. Why does it create only a 12-minute audio conversation for an entire book? Do you know a better alternative? Yeah, I mean, like, we actually have, if you go to, this is a free group, all right? If you want a better alternative for doing this stuff, let me have a look here. Here we go. Yeah, here you go. So if you go onto YouTube and you look at this video right here, we actually talk about exactly how to create an ebook with one click, and it creates like a 20,000 word book. So you can easily create ebooks, and then if you want to actually turn them into longer audiobooks, then what you can do is you can use something like 11 Labs. 11 Labs is really good for that. Briag says, I use Gemini for neutral factual bulk copy delivered and Sonnet for prose rewrite. Interesting. All right. And now we've created this. Look at, so this is the operating system that we've created. This is pretty cool, right? So we've created a Goldisms website based on our brand voice, which is really cool. Let me open this up. I'll show you what I mean. All right. So you see here, we've got the example of our brand voice, right? And this is the core personality. All right. So this is the Goldisms, which is basically like the lexicon that I use to create better content. So let's get into it. Boom shakalaka, steal this, ship, factory, the Goldie rank rocket, right? AI profit boardroom. I keep things simple. That is a phrase that I use all the time. And the main thing here is like we've got a brand voice, we've got different hooks that we can use, action verbs, concepts. We've got the factory of SOPs, so like voice, keyword, audience, etc. And this has generated a really cool sort of playbook of how we explain complex things and demystify technology with AI, right? The lexicon that I use day to day, as you can see, my common catchphrases, the core personality of me and what I do, right? So I'm very focused on testing things live. I'm very interested on revealing the big secrets. I'm very focused on moving really, really fast, right? These are my core values. And then, for example, here it's actually analyzing my voice. It's got the operational drivers, etc. You see my manifesto here. So, for example, leading with proof, respecting time, and saving people time, trying to get people the free versions of doing things, and then also not just talking about theory, like actually showing how things work, right? And so we've done this all. We've created this whole beautiful brand voice playbook using NotebookLM and the information that NotebookLM gave us, right? Really cool. Scully Pop says, I wrote a 60-page novel on Claude in 2 days. What on earth? What on earth? I love it. I have project creating best-selling stories, trained on the methods of the best authors, plus it creates stories the world has never seen. Pretty cool. We've also got here, for example, Cryo says, do you also have a problem with Gemini? I I bought AI Pro and I can't connect it to GitHub repo. So if you want to connect it to repos, right, go to AI Studio. Inside AI Studio, when you build anything, you can connect it to a repo, right? So if you actually go inside AI Studio here, like so, and then you see at the top, it says save to GitHub. That's how you would save to GitHub directly. And you can always like paste in the information and that sort of thing. And Bree says, sometimes I feel like I need to put a leash on Gemini. Have you applied any system prompt adjustments? I've not really found that I have to. But if it does run if it goes off on a tangent, then what you can do is just say to Gemini inside the custom instructions, like keep it short, or be more punchy in your responses. Claude is like that. Claude goes off on a crazy tangent if you're not careful. So I'm really careful with the projects I use on Claude, and I keep it on a tight leash to do exactly what I want. So I'm going to keep going through now. And we've talked about this. Next up, now what I'd recommend is look through your notebooks and just, if you're on, we're implementing a 30-day roadmap here, right? So for example, we have created a first notebook. We've uploaded the best content. We added our customer research. We uploaded competitor research. We built our first audio overview. We built our first slide deck. We created a brand voice document. And we also plugged that into a beautiful website that's like a playbook for our brand voice right here, right? So we've done a lot, and these are this is a 30-day implementation plan. Now, what I recommend is that at some point you need to review and clean up your notebooks, because if you have a look at mine, it's out of control. It's out of control because I do so many videos about this stuff. It just gets very, very messy. So, for example, here, like if there's stuff that I don't use anymore, I should delete it. Like I don't know why it's there, So, for example, what I'd recommend doing is at some point, and I do this after day 7, not after day 300, like me. You want to start deleting some of these that you're not using, right? So you'll create stuff that you find useful, and you create stuff that you don't find useful. Delete the stuff you don't find useful. It'll save you a lot of time, and it'll keep you more organized. Do you say that Minimax 2.1 is the best AI coder? No, I don't agree with that. When I actually tested them all out, this is going to surprise you, but out of everything that I've tested recently, and you'll see a recent video on this where I tested it all live for an hour, I compared, I've tested out Minimax 2.1. I compared Claude versus Gemini versus Grok versus ChatGPT 5.2 on thinking mode. ChatGPT 5.2 thinking mode is the best at coding consistently on every test I've done. So I'd recommend going that. You're a genius, bro. Thank you very much, sir. How automated are your regular uploads? If you want to see stuff on that, just check out the AI Profit Boardroom, and it will show you like what we're doing and how automated we have it, and like a whole process for doing this. So if you want to learn like the whole process, go inside the AI Profit Boardroom, go to the classroom, and then from here, what you're going to do is you would go to the playbook, as you can see, and inside the playbook, we actually explain a whole process for automating AI avatar videos, for automated screen shares, and just automating that stuff, right? And can you show that workflow one day? So it's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. It's already there for you to get, right, inside the AI Profit Boardroom. And then you can actually learn how to set these up, right? It only takes like 9 minutes to learn, but it's 100% worth it. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. If there's one thing that's changed my business over the last year or so, it's creating AI avatar videos. Clickstander says, thanks for all your gifts. Happy to help. Really happy to help. I appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone who watches as well. Couldn't do this without you. So we're going to keep going through now. I've already talked about deleting this stuff, and we've already done week 1, right? I've already covered all the stuff. So week 2, content generation and creation machine. So the first thing we want to do is start generating blog post ideas, and these can come from your actual expertise, right? So we created that Goldie Agency notebook earlier in the show. You can see it right here. And what I can actually do is I can plug in this prompt right here, right? Which says, based on everything in this notebook, give me 20 blog post ideas that would attract my ideal customers. Focus on problems they're searching for solutions for, right? Because we've already done research on the brand voice. We've already done research on our top competitors' content. And we've already done the research on figuring out what are our customers struggling with based on their FAQs, right? So you can see how you're creating like this amazing automation hub that's going to save you so much time when it comes to this stuff. So we're going to click enter like so. And what they'll actually do is start automating the ideas and stuff that we can come up with, right? So it's beginning to build that out, as you can see. Nice and easy, right? So it's generating the content plans, it's going to generate all the blog post ideas and everything else. So, for example, here, like we could do a blog post on like the anti-cloud automation stack, right? How to create content with like local AIs, which is something I've covered a lot in my other videos. We could also do, for example, Zapier versus NA10 self-hosted. That would be a great blog idea. We could do one on the NotebookLM protocol, like I'm showing you today, and how to turn one PDF into a podcast and 20 social media posts. Pretty simple and easy. And so you can see how easy this stuff is. All right. Now we've got a bunch of blog ideas that we could easily start to use to leverage content, right? Iron Bro says, thanks a lot, bro. Flow seems to be very good. I'm typing this message with you using Whisper Flow only. Yeah, Flow is the best. Whisper Flow is just unbelievably good. All right, so now we're going to go back through and we're going to create our first AI written draft. So we pick one of the blog ideas. We're going to ask Notebook to write it. It will sound like you because it's learned from your content. And here's what we're going to do, right? So we're going to take this like so. We say write a full blog post about, and we just insert our topic. So, for example, we'll take the Goldie Rank Rocket method. We'll plug that into the topic here. Plug that in, and there we go. Right, we're going to hit enter like so, and we're living the dream. All right, and it's beginning to build that out. All right, so it's beginning to code that out. As you can see, it's created a really nice thing. It's like, let's get straight into it. Here's the method. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do it. Here's the process. And it's created a full blog post, right? Really simple and easy. Now, if you wanted to format that nicer, so let's say, for example, you wanted to create a nicer format. Well, number one, what you're going to do here is just copy all of this, right? So you can actually copy the information from the post. Then we can go over to Gemini. We'll click on new and we'll paste that in. And we'll say, create a beautifully formatted document for this, right? Paste that in. And now you can see it's created a beautifully formatted version of the blog, right? And so if you're formatting stuff, if it's, for example, like a guide or a blog post or whatever, make sure that you paste it into Gemini to actually turn that into something that looks good, right? Otherwise, if you have a look at NotebookLM, it just doesn't look as good in the way that it's formatted, right? It's kind of like almost plain text, if that makes sense inside the chat. Scully says, it's so powerful, incredible, thank you. Is a default Gemini 3 Pro inside Notebook? It is, yeah. And Crystal says, hope you had a good holiday. Thank you very much. Bree Hacks says, screenshot of you being cited on Claude. All right, here's an example. So you can see here that Claude is quoting me on SEO training in Japan, right? So it's quoted me there and there, as you can see. So it actually quotes me directly in the chat for those sort of topics. So, when you're creating content, it will actually take the content from my website and rank that inside Claude and then send traffic to it. So it's pretty cool for that sort of stuff. As you can see, like traffic's looking pretty nice on that website. So we're going to keep going through now. Crystal says, hope you had a good holiday. Happy Christmas to you too. Now we're going to go back to Notebook. All right. So where are we up to? We've already created a blog post, as you can see. Now we're going to build a lead magnet, right? So what you can actually do is for that particular blog post that you created, any sort of content that you want to generate, you can actually plug in this prompt that says create a 10-page guide called the ultimate checklist that I can give away to attract new leads, right? Use my brand voice and expertise from Notebook, right? Now, when you're doing that, I would actually recommend you can create your own, right? So you can create your own reports here and you can use that for the report that you generate, right? So for example, here we can say, okay, create a 10-page guide called the ultimate Goldie AI checklist, Julian Goldie AI checklist. I can give away to attract new leads, use my voice and expertise from the Notebook, and then also make sure it teaches people how to use AI automation for their business in a 30-day roadmap, right? So you can generate reports like that, or you could just use like the actual slide deck itself as a lead magnet as well. I think that would work really well as a lead magnet because with NotebookLM, and by the way, if someone's not sure what a lead magnet is, basically a lead magnet is where you give away something of value and then people exchange their details to download that guide, right? So for example, someone clicks on this and they exchange their details to get the guide, right, on this landing page. Then they're exchanging their details to get the guide. They join the email list, they join our newsletter, etc. Right? And so if we go back to NotebookLM, we could actually use this guide right here as like a 30-day implementation plan for AI. And that's a giveaway guide that we create, right? And we can easily automate that with AI. We can also generate reports. We could do that in video format, in audio overview format as well, and then give it away in multiple formats so that it's more likely to be downloaded, so that more people are likely to download it, etc. So it's pretty powerful stuff. We're generating the report as well. Next up, we're going to generate some social media posts, right? So we've got our blog content inside the same notebook. And what we can actually do is say, okay, take the blog post that you just generated, which is this one here. It's already created the blog post. So by the way, it has actually used catchphrases inside there. So it's used boom shakalaka inside the content itself. So it is actually taking my brand voice and everything else. I'm going to say take this blog post and turn it into 30 different social media posts. Make each one punchy, valuable, and end with a call to action to learn more inside the AI Profit Boardroom, right? And we'll just take the link for the AI Profit Boardroom there. We'll enter. And now we're creating 30 social media posts for our content that we can easily automate as well. All right. So you can see how we're basically building out this content engine that automates content for us, that's personalized to us and our business. And we're doing it in like a few clicks whilst I'm showing you live, right? So for example, here's a post that we could create. Most SEOs are stuck in the Flintstone age. They write one post a week manually. Meanwhile, I'm building a factory that creates 18 high quality posts a month using ChatGPT 5.2. Speed win, stop guessing, start building, and steal the blueprint inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Right, and it's got a link. That's just method number one. So it's taking my actual frameworks, my actual content, and then using that to generate more content. And it's actually better written than most people could do for you, right? So for example, here, the 3-pillar framework. I keep SEO simple. You only need 3 things to rank in 30 days. Keywords, content, backlinks. That's the Goldie rank rocket, right? Master the workflow here, and then it sends them to the AI Profit Boardroom. And if you're wondering, okay, like, does this work? Can you actually generate traffic from X using these methods? Here's an example, right? You can see here, for example, yesterday we reached 213,000 people on X, right? Each month we'll reach like millions of people, as you can see. And so the content that you create can reach a lot of people if you're creating the right type of content using the right type of methods, which is what I'm teaching you today. So you see here, for example, FAQ snippets, repurposing stuff, how to fact check stuff, the compounding SEO effect, etc. Right? It's a great impression. Thank you very much, sir. Very happy to help. And you can see how we're generating all this content. Quite easy and simple. And that will just generate in the background. I mean, the report does take a little while, but it's only a few minutes, and you can always get your team to do it if you don't have time. So next up, what we can actually do is we can create create email sequences. So my notebook knows my audience, right? Because we built it custom trained to us, and we can use it to write emails that connect. So you don't need to stare at a blank screen figuring out what to write inside your email sequences. You can just copy this prompt, write a 5 email welcome sequence for new subscribers. Each email should teach something valuable and build trust. Use my voice from the uploaded content. We'll go back to NotebookLM, and it's going to save all this stuff, so we can always come back to it whenever we want to. Like, it saves all the chat history, which is pretty awesome. And then we're going to hit enter like so. And what that will do is now generate the email sequence as well. And so we've automated slideshows, websites, we've automated presentations, reports, blog posts, so 30 social media posts, and now 5 email welcome sequence. Pretty amazing. So when people actually join my email list using the lead magnet that we just created a few minutes ago, well, now it's beginning to create the email sequence for when people sign up as well, which is really useful. And now you can see it's created the email sequence. And it's like, okay, the subject line, SEO is not a mystery. Here's a blueprint. Let's get into it, which is one of my favorite catchphrases. Most people overcomplicate SEO. They treat it like blah, blah, blah. They wait for months for results. They get stuck in the Flintstone age, etc. I'm going to show you the exact system I used to rank fast. Here's what we do. Here's a pillar. Here's what to do day 1 to 30. So it actually gives them a 30-day action plan. Fast is good. Here's what to do. In the next email, I'm going to show you how to do X. Boom shakalaka. PS, if you want me to build this for you, join the Air Profit Boardroom, right? And so it's now automated a full email sequence that reads really nicely. I think it reads nicely because it follows my brand voice. And we've just automated that with Notebook as well, right? What's the next thing? So now we're going to start building some video scripts, right? So we're going to take the top performing content, turn it into video scripts ready to record. So we can say, turn this blog post into a 10-minute YouTube video script, include hooks, stories, examples, and a clear call to action at the end. We're going to paste that prompt in like so. And then we're actually going to take the blog post that we created earlier, as you can see from Gemini. Gemini used it to format it. And now we're going to plug that in like so, right? Now, if it's a bit long, we can always just delete a little bit of it, as you can see. But basically what we're doing here is we're quickly creating a video script using the previous blog post that we generated. Scully says, Notebook is a little like Claude projects, but sophisticated in a different kind of way. Yeah, I would say, Claude projects are not really designed for mass multimedia content creation, right? Like Claude, it can't create infographics. It can't create slide decks. It cannot create, for example, flashcards, right? It's not going to be able to train your team or anything like that. So Claude is great for like just creating written content, but it's not great for example, creating multimedia. And Scully says, yeah, Claude is trained at my brand. So now you can see we're beginning to create that YouTube script. And it's like, okay, here's the 30-day ranking blueprint. Most people think SEO is a mystery. They think you have to wait 6 months to see a single graph go up. They think you need to hire an agency or write code to win. They are stuck in the Flintstone age. They are doing manual labor while their competitors are using AI to soon pass them. Today, I'm going to show you the exact system I use to rank websites in 30 days. Not 6 months, 30 days, right? And so it's created this really, really good video script. I could just read it out. My editor can then add the B-roll and everything else to it. Or if you're smart, you can actually automate this with AI, right? How do you do that? I actually have a full process inside the AI Profit Boardroom for my AI avatar videos, right? So if you want to learn, and this is crazy, right? It's heartbreaking and crazy. And what I mean by that, for example, is like, if I create a human video about NotebookLM, let me find one recently. Yeah, so if I create a human video about Gemini, you can see it only gets like 2,700 views. If I create an AI avatar course on pretty much the same thing, it gets 10K views, right? Same time frame, but but AI avatars just beat me every time now. It's like I can't outcompete my AI avatars. Like, for example, here, look at this. This was a full training for 2 hours on NotebookLM. Only got 3,200 views. Now, if we go back to my videos here, you can see that the avatar created a 4-hour video and got 10K views in a short period, right? And so what I'm trying to say here is like AI avatar videos, it's not like AI slop. Like, these are some of the best videos on YouTube right now. They're way better than human videos. Scully says your B-roll is off the chain. Thanks very much. Yeah. So I could easily plug this into my AI avatar process and then just generate a video using that as well. So what you're going to do from there is create your content calendar. So you can plan the next 30 days. All content ideas come from your notebook, all written in your voice. And then you can say something like create a 30-day content calendar with daily posts on social media, weekly blog posts, and email topics, all based on the themes inside this notebook, right? And so we go over to NotebookLM, we plug that in. That's going to automate all our content. How easy is that? And ClickStanger says, I was impressed about your videos, Avatar. They tell more interesting parts you didn't say in live. Yeah, 100%. Like the difference is, right? If you've got an AI avatar presenting, they're going to cover everything. They're going to pronounce every single word perfectly. They're going to keep you engaged because they know the psychology of humans and they can just make it up on the spot. They're going to create a better script than something that I can just talk off the cuff about. And then also the B-roll and everything else inside the content itself is going to be way more interesting on screen. And so, like, everything about an AI avatar video is often better than the content you create yourself, right, as a human. And bear in mind, the AI avatar turns up with like peak energy, peak mindset, always at 100% its best, always pronounces every single word perfectly. It's so hard to compete with that. And the better AI gets, the more powerful it's going to be, the more interesting the videos are going to be, right? The more times we create AI avatar videos, the better we get because we keep like tweaking and improving the process. And it's something that I personally can't compete with, right? I probably get like half the views my AI avatar video does. And I've been doing this for 5 years. So let alone everyone else, right? And then you can see here, for example, we've got the 30-day content plan. So it's broken down the full content plan of exactly how we can build this into our marketing systems, right? Next up, we've covered the first 2 weeks, and just to recap here, I mean, we have done so much in such a little space of time, right? So, for example, we created our first notebook, we uploaded our best content, we added customer research, we uploaded competitor research, we built our first AI overview, we created the brand voice document, we reviewed and cleaned up all our notebooks, and then we generated an awesome blog post idea. So we actually created 20 blog post ideas, wrote the first blog, as you can see on Gemini. Then from there, we built a lead magnet. We generated 30 social media posts that are better written than I can actually do. We created a 5-day email week welcome sequence. We automated our video script, and we created a content calendar for the next 30 days. How can you compete with that as a human, right? Like the thing to note here is like you're not really competing with AI, but you're competing with people with AI, right? So if you don't learn this stuff that I'm teaching you today, the problem is that there's going to be someone out there like me who understands how to use these tools and how to get the most of them. And then how are you going to compete with them? How can you compete if you're not using these tools, right? How can you compete with someone who can like plan out their content calendar, build out video scripts in one click, create amazing email with welcome sequences, generate 30 social media posts? Like just the sheer volume alone, you're never going to be able to compete with unless you really learn these tools. And that's what I'm trying to teach you today. Because if you don't learn it, someone else will. And then, it's like, you or them, right? What's the thing? ClickStanger says, of course, this is unbelievable. Scully says the avatar is going to get better and better, 100%. Does better, and you just have to click a few buttons. Yeah, it's going to get more automated, and it's going to be even better than before. I have some homework to do. Yeah, check out the airport for boarding, man. Get yourself in there. So from here, we're going to build the FAQ database. All right, and you can just like, for example, create you can say, okay, create a comprehensive FAQ document with the top 50 questions my customers ask and detailed answers for each one. Right? So we'll plug that into Notebook here. And it'll begin to generate it out. By the way, whilst we're waiting for that to load, let me show you some of the cool stuff that I generated whilst we were just sitting around, messing around with this. So we created this 30-day roadmap, which we can use as our lead magnet. As you can see, it's pretty cool. So you even got like a tracker here, so you can track like the tasks, the time, the automation potential. So it's a really powerful lead magnet that we could give away, right? And then also, if you go inside here as well, we've got the infographic ready to go, right? So I actually created this infographic based on my playbook that shows people in like a beautiful short image exactly how they can repurpose content, how to scale high quality content, how to build custom AI tools, how to do SEO automation, and how to create unlimited videos, right? And it's basically taken my best pieces of content and then created the AI powered content factory guide, right? In one single infographic that's designed perfectly as well, right? It's even broken down. Okay, here's how many keywords you need. Here's how many blog posts you need to create. Here's how many backlinks you need to create, right? And that was really easy and simple, right? So if we go back inside here, we've now got the FAQ And Scully says it's a gorgeous infographic. Yeah, I would agree. It looks really, really nice, doesn't it? It looks really cool. So from here, we're going to take this guide like so. This is our FAQs guide, as you can see. And again, we can just go back to Gemini here, and we can say, okay, create a mini app for my customers' FAQs, right? And it's going to take all the information from the vault. We're going to click on Canvas over here, and then we're going to click on Enter like so, right? And what this is doing is it's going to generate a searchable, beautiful mini app using the information we plugged into Notebook and also in Gemini, right? Notebook organizes the information and pulls the sources in to do the research. Gemini just adds a finishing touch for the front end to make beautiful mini apps and tools that we can come back to over and over again, right? Like the brand voice document, like the Goldisms mini app, etc., right? And so we'll wait for that to load. In the meantime, we can start generating some audio views. We could also generate, for example, a video view. We could create flashcards or a quiz if we really wanted to. I think these are better for learning stuff, either you or your team, whoever needs to train him. Now you can see that's beginning to build out, right? Now, if we go back to Gemini here, this is using Flash. All right, so it's a fast mode. You can use Pro as well, but honestly, Flash is pretty good for UI and that sort of thing. And now we are beginning to build out the ultimate FAQ vault. And so this is going to be a searchable vault that we can use to search our, common questions our customers would ask us, for example, using the content factory. Now, whilst we're waiting for that to load, let's go and create the customer personas, right? So your notebook knows who you help. Why don't you let it create detailed profiles? And then you can know your customer better than they know themselves, so you can create better content, better marketing, etc. So you can say, okay, based on the customer research in this notebook, create 3 detailed personas, including their goals, fears, daily challenges, and what would make them buy stuff, right? We'll click on here, we'll hit enter. And all of this stuff is saved again, so you don't need to worry about doing it again. You do it once and then you've got it back in the chat. You can just scroll through it, as you can see. And that's beginning to build up. Now, once we've done that, so we've got all of that over here, but what we're going to do over here is we've got our FAQs document, right? So for example, how do I stop AI content from being robotic, right? It recommends a negative keyword list, right? So these are AI buzzwords that you avoid, like you can see. And then it talks about the prompts and how to prompt AI to avoid that, right? And we've created this beautiful AI SEO FAQ vault, and you can create it customized to your business. I just want to show you how I've created customized to mine, so you get a really good idea of how to use this. And we can switch between all the FAQs, right? So for example, N8N local hosting, the content factory, right? Building AI tools, business automation, the AI profit boardroom, right? A lot of people ask me about this stuff, right? And so all over here, you've got all of these different technical FAQs as well. How do I connect Wix to N8N? Is Gemini bad at revising documents? Why do you share all these secrets, right? Like, why are you sharing all this stuff? And then it actually has a link to the AI profit boardroom that sends traffic to our funnels as well. So you could use this as a lead magnet, as a tool. You could give it to customers. I could plug that inside the AI profit boardroom. People could actually use it. But the main thing is here that we've generated a beautiful mini app based on the information from NotebookLM. It's wild what you can do with this, right? It's just endless. And so now what it's done is it's created the customer persona information. Scully says, in the old day, this would have taken a team weeks to do what you've done in the past hour. I would agree. I mean, imagine pre-ChatGPT. Pre-ChatGPT, you wouldn't have been able to do any of this stuff. Not once, because you'd have to develop the apps. Yeah, that's it. I mean, if you had to develop apps, it would also, be very time consuming telling people what you want. Whereas you just go to AI, you tell it what you want, and it figures it out instantly. Scully says, I'm 56 and my head is spinning. I'm 36, so I mean, even for me, it makes my head spin. It is quite a lot of information. There's so much you can do with this, but I just want to give you as much value as possible and help everyone who's watching today. So over here, we've got the customer research. It's like, okay, here's the persona, right? The Flintstone agency owner. And this persona is stuck doing things manually whilst competitors in past, right? That is a very common persona that I see for my audience, right? A lot of people inside their AI profit boarding before they joined, they were stuck doing things manually, right? Whilst their competitors automated. You can see, for example, we've got persona number 2 here, which is like the people who don't like to use big tech, right? They just want to host stuff locally and they want to do stuff locally for free, right? Using Olama, for example, and it breaks down that persona right here. Then we've also got persona number 3, which is like the content factory builder, the repurposer. And this persona creates content, but it's burning out a little bit. So they might be doing everything manually, they're burning out, etc. And they want to turn one asset into 100 and automate their visibility, right? But they don't know how. And so that's another persona of our channel. And so if we understand our persona better, if we understand audience better, then all of our marketing becomes better because we know who we're targeting, we know who we're talking to. And that's what it's about, right? That's what this game is about. Zprof says, I'm 63 and my head is spinning too. I'm sorry to make everyone's head spin, but hopefully this is helping you as well and helping you learn as well. All right. And then we could generate case study templates, right? We could also build outreach messages, so personalized outreach messages. So we could say, write 10 different outreach message templates I can use to connect with potential customers, make them personal, valuable, not salesy. So we'll plug that one in. And then we'll plug this in. All right. All of this puts me on the fence about go high level. I really like high level. Like I use it a lot for our agency. I think honestly, once you get to a certain point, you know, if you run enough Google Sheets, it's going to be an absolute nightmare for you. Whereas you use something like this and you can get much better responses. All right. And then you can see, for example, here, it's giving us a bunch of outreach messages that we could use to reach out to people, right? So, for example, turn your latest video into 10 posts, automated. Hey, name, love your recent video about X. The insights are great, blah, blah, blah. I know how much of a grind it is. If you're interested, I can do this completely free for you. I've been using this workflow, blah, blah, blah. Let me know. Here's my name, right? And so you've got a bunch of outreach messages as well that are all focused on my audience. And again, like the level of complexity inside this is amazing because, you know, we've been talking about finding our top competing content, right? We've been finding our top competitors, the content that works the best for us and using that. We've been leveraging the customer FAQs from our community. We've also been leveraging the customer persona analysis that NotebookLM did for us as well, right? Hi from South Africa. Good to see you. I actually got a mate who's moving to South Africa next month. And it's supposed to be really nice place to live. So creating webinar content. So you can actually turn your expertise into presentations. And what you can actually do here, this is interesting. So you can take this, right? And then we're going to go over to the video overview section over here. Explainer, choose style. We can just go with the classic. So it looks nice and neat and tidy. And we say, okay, create a webinar about AI automation with slides, talking points, and engagement questions for the audience, plus a pitch for the AI Profit Boardroom, right? And we can actually generate an automated webinar with a narrator, right? Because this is a video overview with a narrator. And then we can quickly generate a video that we can use as a webinar for our business as well, that's trained on all the information from the notebook too. So really, really cool right there. I'm from Germany, but not so many people are using NotebookLM. You are using it. Yeah, I think, you know, a lot of people haven't explored NotebookLM as much as they probably should do. And, you know, I think if you're not getting into this, you know, you're really struggling. How do you write video scripts? So we actually just covered that a few minutes ago. If you want to rewind the stream, we actually created a really nice video script. Let me find this for you. Oh, here we go. Right, so we actually custom trained this notebook on all our top content. And then as you can see inside the chat here, we said, turn this blog post into a 10-minute YouTube video script, include hooks, stories, examples, and a clear call to action. Plugged in the YouTube blog post that we automate with NA10. And then you can see inside this section, it's got the title, the time, what to say at which times, right? And it's got the full video script right there. And that video script is like exactly how I would say it, right? It uses all the same strategies, all the same tactics that I use inside my videos, just to keep people engaged and to educate people and entertain people. All right. Asia says, Alaya says, how can we access you? So you can access me inside the AI Profit Boardroom, right? If you go to the AI Profit Boardroom here, you can see that you can join this community with 1,900 members, and inside there you can connect with me personally, right? So if you want to connect with me personally, you can DM me. So you can drop me a DM over here. This is the only place I connect with people personally. And inside the community, you can also connect with all the community members. It's not really just about me. It's about everyone who's inside the community just getting awesome results with AI, right? And you can see all the awesome wins that people have had. You know, for example, like Karen posted her wins yesterday. We had a appreciation post for everyone inside the community, right? And we're just posting loads of cool stuff inside there. Now, also inside the classroom here, not only can you connect with me personally on the DMs, not only can you connect with the community inside the community section, you can also get access to all my best classroom playbooks and everything else. And you can jump on 4 weekly coaching calls per week, 4 weekly coaching calls where you can get access from a PhD level scientist who's trained on AI, who knows how to help you and your business with it. And you can join those calls and just get help and support whenever you need it. All right. So let's go back through this now. And we are going to go into generating podcast episodes, right? So what you can do here, this is interesting. See, what you can do is you can actually take a prompt like this to generate podcast outlines and ideas before you create the podcast, right? And the reason for doing that is like you can plan out your content better before you start sending it off to the NotebookLM to automate, right? So I want to plug in this prompt, and if you want all the prompts from today for free, you can get them inside the AI Success Lab, right? Which connects you with 40,000 people interested in AI, as you can see right here. Really active community, lots of people posting inside there and sharing what's working for them. If you go inside the classroom, you can get access to all my latest trainings. So, for example, Gemini Flash, NotebookLM, AI Super Gems, right? Claude, browser, etc. You can get this all inside the AI Profit Boardroom, and then AI Success Lab. So it's completely free. And then also inside here, you'll get the video notes from today, right? So if you want to get all the video notes from today, like you can see, with all the prompts and the 30-day plan that I'm running through with you today, you can just copy and paste these prompts from the classroom and then just use them yourself and follow the steps today. All right, it's completely free. Link in the comments description. So now we've got the ideas of what we can use for our podcast episodes, right? So for example, here, faceless video example, right? What we can actually do is we can take this information like so. We can go to the audio overview section here. We can choose what we want. So we could have a lively conversation. We could have a bite-sized overview. We could have a critique. We could have a debate. I'm going to go with brief, right? And then I'm going to say inside here, focus on faceless video domination with AI. And it's going to be like, video is the best way to sell, but filming every day leads to burnout. I found a Chinese AI model that clones you from a 5-second clip, right? Using 1.26, right? Which is actually a recent video I did. So we're going to hit generate like so. And that will start generating a podcast overview based on the outlines and the ideas that we got from NotebookLM. Now, why would you do it that way? Because then you get 10 ideas, you pick the best one, and from there, you create a podcast and you've already automated the outline, right? So you get 10 ideas, you pick the top 10%, you use the top 10% to generate that podcast, and then you've got a much better podcast than you would have had previously. Herman says, is 300 sources now available in the free version? I'm a pro. I've never used 300 sources, honestly, so I don't know. I've never tested the limits on the free or the pay plan. It's extremely rare that most people just wouldn't use 300 sources inside a playbook for NotebookLM. But if you do, then I don't know. I mean, you must be like using it a lot, and therefore it would make sense to get the best version you can. So we're going to keep running through this plan. We've created the FAQ database. We created the customer personas notebook. We generated, for example, the outreach messages. We automated the webinar content, and we generated podcast episodes as well. What's next, my friends? What is next? All right. So now I'm going to talk about building an onboarding system. All right. So new customers need guidance, and your notebook creates a path. All right. And first impressions stick. So what we can say is like create a customer onboarding sequence with 7 days of welcome emails, getting started guides, and a quick win activity section. Now, we're going to use NotebookLM to generate that. And bear in mind, this kind of AI agent could do multiple things at the same time. So we've loaded in all our sources. We've plugged in the onboarding sequence inside the chat. But then on the right-hand side here, we've got, for example, the podcast overview. We've got the video view. We have the infographic. We have the slide decks, everything else, right, inside here. And so we've got the email sequence, as you can see over here. All right. And then we've created this onboarding email sequence, right? Now, what's interesting about this is we can also take that onboarding welcome sequence, as you can see. We're going to take that like so, and we're actually going to create a mini app inside Gemini, and we're going to use something called dynamic view. Now, dynamic view basically takes the information that you plug in and then creates like a beautiful mini app outside of it, right? So let me show you exactly how this works. I'm going to paste this in like you can see. We're going to hit enter like so. And then from here, it's going to start building this bad boy out, right? And this is one of the most impressive features that I've seen from NotebookLM recently. It's really, really cool. And basically what it's going to do is start to build out a kind of mini app of AI, right? So we're going to wait for that to load. And it's going to build out like a kind of guide, as you can see right here, for the onboarding of the AI profit boardroom, right? And what I could actually do if I wanted to is share this with members of the AI Profit Boardroom. And then as soon as they sign up, they get like a beautiful onboarding process. The good thing about this is that if you have a good onboarding process, particularly for an agency, you can create a much better experience, and then you're more likely to keep your customers longer, right? We'll come on to that in a second. I'm just going to close some of these tabs. There we go. All right. And that's beginning to build out now. Whilst we're waiting for that to load, we'll go back to here, and we're now on week 4 and day 22 of the 30-day roadmap for using NotebookLM, right? And here, what I'd recommend is you start to train your team members. You can upload SOPs, Notebook teaches your team, you clone your knowledge instantly, you save a lot of time on training, right? So let me show you exactly how that works. So we're going to open up a new tab of NotebookLM. Actually, we've got the video explainer there as well in a second. I'll come on to that in a minute. But you can see here, we can now create a new notebook. And what I'm going to do is take an SOP that I train my team with to use this as a training guide for NotebookLM as well. All right. So I'm going to take the sales SOP, as you can see right here. And this is like 92 pages long, right? Most of my team members, they're either not going to read it, or even if they do, they're not going to remember it, right? But at the same time, they're still going to have questions, and they're still going to come to me sometimes for help, right? But if I can automate that process of training them, then I save a lot of time. I can bring on more team members on quickly. I can get them more productive quickly, and also they get help whenever they need it. They don't need to rely on me, right? And so what you can see here is we've loaded in the sales training SOP into the NotebookLM. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this like so, and we're going to say create a training guide for new team members that explains how we do sales step by step, including common mistakes to avoid. All right, so we've created that training guide. That's what we're going to begin to build out. In the meantime, let's go back to Gemini now, and we'll take a look at that onboarding mini app that we created, right? So you can see, for example, here, this is the AI Profit Boardroom AI Factory, right? Stop being a Flintstone, start building an AI factory. This is like a beautiful mini app that shows people from day 1 to 7 exactly how to get results with AI. As you can see, it's actually got a quick win activity, so the time audit, so we can track our time here and put, for example, blah, 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 calculate, and then it actually says how much time people are wasting using manual processes, right? Because we plugged in the time and we plugged in the task, right? And it calculates how much time people waste. And then, for example, here, it teaches people, for example, how to host NA10 locally and the process it takes. And also you can compare, okay, what your monthly costs versus how much you would save if you were using NA10 locally instead. Here's how to clone yourself. So here's how to turn one video into 10 sales assets in 10 minutes using NotebookLM, right? Here's a rank rocket method for SEO, right? It actually gives them these little mini calculators and tools that we can plug in directly here, right? And so we've got now an onboarding document that we've built with NotebookLM and the combination of Gemini. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, so now we're going to go back to NotebookLM, like you see, and we have the video webinar ready to go here. So this is a video webinar that we plugged in. I actually created a short version just so it would generate quicker. But you can see we've created this webinar. It's like 7 minutes long, and it basically runs people through like how to use business automation. Now, the cool thing about this is it's actually narrated as well. So if we unmute the site here, let me show you how it works. We'll play this back.
You're super smart research intern. So you just wrote a blog post, right? Perplexity can instantly check your facts to make sure the AI didn't, just make stuff up.
So it's actually created a really nice webinar
Customer questions
overview of our videos with nice slides, nice narration, and it looks really cool. And we just did that, automated it with NotebookLM, right? So there's so many different use cases for this. And so if we go back to this NotebookLM, we now have the training guide, which is roadmap to KPI for our sales team. As you can see, we're going to copy that. We're going to go over to Gemini like so. And we'll use Canva this time, Canvas. And we can actually use this to train our team, right? So I can say, I can turn this into a beautiful PDF guide. I don't know if it can create PDFs, but I think it will create something nice anyway that helps people. Or the other thing that we can do is we can actually go back to NotebookLM here. We can go to slide deck, type in the slide deck that we want to generate, based on the training guide that we developed inside NotebookLM, hit on generate, and then that'll actually generate a nice little slide deck, as you can see right here, based on the information we're using to train our team. So that's basically it when it comes to NotebookLM. You can see all the amazing stuff we've done today. I mean, it's endless, isn't it? I don't want to. We've talked about the full system framework that I've used, right? So we talked about uploading everything, training the clone, creating it, and then scaling it, right? And we talked about how to create your first notebook, how to upload your best content, how to add customer research, uploading competitor research, building your first overview, building your brand voice document, reviewing and cleaning it up, generating blog posts, creating your first AI written draft, building a lead document, generating social media posts, creating email sequences, building video scripts, creating your content calendar with 30 days of content, building your FAQ database, creating customer personas, building outreach messages and actually automating those too, automating a video for a webinar, as we've done already, generating podcast episodes on autopilot as well, and then also building the onboarding sequence. And we've turned a lot of these into custom built tools like you've seen today, for example, like this sales training guide, as you can see, right? And it's really endless what you can do with this. I just want to really show you that you can do anything with NotebookLM. Really, you can build and automate anything. Jesse says, hello, good to see you here. And if you want to get all the video notes from today, it's all inside the AI Success Lab, link in the comments description. Some things that I want to run through with you before we finish up, right, is like, some people are going to say I'm not technical enough for AI tools, right? But think about the last time you searched Google. You type words, you got answers, and that's literally all NotebookLM is, right? You upload files, you ask questions, you get answers in your own voice. There's no code, there's no complicated settings. If you can use Google, you can use NotebookLM. I remember when I first started using AI tools like ChatGPT, I thought I needed to learn programming. I thought I needed a computer science degree to understand it. I spent weeks trying to understand APIs and tokens and all this technical stuff. And when I found NotebookLM, I just uploaded my first document, asked a question, got an answer, and that was it. No technical skill required, just type in. Some people say, well, I don't have time to learn another tool. Here's what most people do. They spend 2 hours writing one blog post. They spend 3 hours researching content ideas. They spend 4 hours creating lead magnets. And that's 9 hours on content alone. With NotebookLM, you upload once, you generate forever. A 1 hour of setup saves you a lot of time later. So the entrepreneur who says, I don't have time to learn this, is the same one working like 60 hours a week doing everything manually. The tool doesn't add to your workload. It replaces it, right? Next up, some people will say free tools can't be that good. But Google made this. The same Google that runs the world's biggest search engine, YouTube with over 2 billion users, Gmail that everyone uses, Google Docs that businesses run on. They're not charging because they want you using their AI. They want you in their ecosystem. Free doesn't mean bad. All right, free means they just want your loyalty inside the ecosystem. And NotebookLM uses the same Gemini technology that powers their entire strategy. Jesse says we can only get better when we use it consistently, 100%. Clickstanger says I use NotebookLM with gems, learn from your videos. That's awesome. Nice, man. And then Jesse says only the lazy don't have time. There you go. Now, Some people say, I've tried AI tools and they don't sound like me. All right, here's why that happened. You probably asked ChatGPT to write something, it wrote in ChatGPT's voice because you never taught it your voice, right? NotebookLM is different. You upload your content, your blog posts, your videos, your emails. It learns from you. Then it writes like you and it sounds like you because it literally studied how you talk. This isn't about AI writing. This is about AI writing as you. Some people say there are too many AI tools to keep up with, and most people are drowning in tools. You know, they have 10 subscriptions, they use each one for one thing. They can't remember which does what, but here's my rule. Master one tool deeply before touching another. And NotebookLM is that tool. It handles research, content creation, podcast production, team training, customer support, knowledge management. It's one tool, but it multiplies your outputs. So stop chasing new tools and go deep on this one. Some people say, well, AI doesn't understand my specific business. But generic AI doesn't understand your business because you never taught it. NotebookLM only knows what you upload. So if you upload your customer calls, it understands your customers. If you upload your best content, it understands your expertise. If you upload your processes, it understands your systems. The AI becomes as smart about your business as you make it. And other people say, well, my industry is different. I can't do it for my industry. I hear this a lot. You know, SEO is different. Coaching is different. My niche is different. Here's the truth. Every business runs on knowledge. You have expertise. Your customers have questions. NotebookLM connects the two. Whether you're in fitness, finance, tech, or trades, this system works the same. You upload your expertise. You answer your customers. You create content that attracts more. Industry doesn't matter. Knowledge transfer does. That's the important bit. And some people say, well, I'm already behind on AI. It's too late to start. The person who starts today is ahead of the one who starts next month. AI isn't going anywhere, right? So it's only getting more important. And here's what most people don't realize. The fundamentals stay the same. Upload content, ask questions, get outputs. These basics haven't changed since NotebookLM launched. You're not behind, you just started. And starting is all that matters, right? Knowledge is power, Jesse says. 100% agree with you. Iowa says, this is awesome. Happy to help. Thank you very much, sir. And some people say as well, I tried NotebookLM and it didn't work. And let me guess what happened here. You uploaded one document, asked a basic question, got a basic answer, then you close the tab. That's like getting a gym membership and going once, doing one push-up and saying fitness doesn't work for me. The tool works, the system works, but you actually have to use it. And so if you follow that 30-day plan that I've given you today, you do the work, then judge the results, right? And if you want to see what's possible, just check out the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. You can see, for example, Karen here celebrating some wins. Made not one, but a few client websites today. Made a custom GPT, shout out to Karen for being productive, and completed one of 50 tools that will be used to enhance her students' learning, having 10 of them outlined and ready to begin the build, right? And she says, I'm taking the good days when I have them and maximizing my productivity. Karen is a winner. Shout out to Karen. She's crushing it, right? Let's have a look. Also here, we actually appreciate our members. So we appreciate all our most active members, and we just say thanks to everyone for being, part of this community. You can see, for example, here, we've got Scott who's sharing his 100-day journey and actually created his first product today, right? How amazing is that? And so he's been sharing and creating AI products with it, right? And AM says they actually fixed their blog for Wix using help with Johan, who's another legendary member. So shout out to everyone inside the AI Profit Boardroom. It's amazing what we can achieve together when we just focus on getting results, right? And, bear in mind, like there's an old way and a new way, right? People with content creation used to stare at a blank screen for hours, hire writers who don't understand your voice, copy competitors to sound generic, spend days on one blog post, run out of ideas constantly, right? The new way is like you can upload your best content once, AI learns your exact voice and style, you generate unique ideas from your expertise, you create blog posts in minutes, and you never run out of ideas because your notebook keeps growing. And that's what we're talking about, all right? And so if you're ready to implement this stuff with step-by-step support, join the AI Profit Boardroom. All right. And here's what you get inside. So you get a full replay of this training plus all future trainings. You get the complete systems that I've shown you. You'll get over 1,000 automation workflows you can plug and play. You get the daily Q&A with me, right? So you can actually post inside the community and get help and support with me whenever you want. So for example, here you can see AM posted and we got back to AM right away, as you can see. Right. We also have unlimited tech support. You get 4 weekly coaching calls per week, and you get monthly stuff as well. Right. And so This is all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. You can see it's an amazing community, awesome people, great classroom, loads of great trainings. You can actually learn AI from scratch. So if you've never learned AI before, but you want to learn how to properly use it, you can actually jump inside here, start the 6-week AI automation roadmap. We actually run through how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. And we show you the best way to get results with AI. On top of that, you can jump on the weekly coaching calls. And if you want to learn all my best strategies for implementing AI, for example, how to automate your emails, X, newsletters, shorts, AI avatar videos, screen shares with AI avatars, etc., it's all inside here as well. And then also you can see inside the updates here, we actually update this regularly. So we're always adding new cool stuff inside the community here as well. All right. ClickSanger says, what's inside the year package, the annual package inside the AI Profit Boardroom? Glad you asked. So let me run you through what you get inside the yearly, right? So if you join the yearly, you actually get free SEO Elite Circle access as well. So you get a 1-year access to the SEO Elite Circle. You get training on how to grow your own school community based on what's worked for me. You get the annual member vault, which is all my new agency SOPs, swipe files, automation blueprints. And these are playbooks that nobody else will see. Only annual members of the AI Profit Boardroom. You also get you get to all my future courses and features, and yeah, all this stuff here, right? So here's a breakdown of what you get. So feel free to get that if you sign up yearly for the AI Profit Boardroom. Thanks for asking, ClickSander. All right. ClickSanger says he's joining the annual in February. Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, that's awesome. So today, I am going to show you how to automate AI voice agents with AI Studio for free. And if you've never used this before, let me show you exactly how it works and how you can get started with this. So you can see AI Studio here, and we've actually created this voice agent that handles stuff for me as a digital concierge. So if I click on Start SEO Consultation, and I'm going to say, can you help me with my pet's website to rank it on Google?
Welcome to Goldie Agency. I'm Goldie. We've helped brands scale from 0 to 100K plus monthly visitors. How can I help you reach those heights today? To get started, could you tell me?
Can you tell me exactly how to get started with keyword research for SEO? Just tell me exactly how to do that.
I can definitely help with that. First, you'll want to brainstorm relevant keywords that potential customers might use to find your pet business. Then use a keyword research tool to see how many people search for those terms and how competitive they are. You'll want to target keywords with a good balance of high search volume and lower competition. Does that help you get started?
All right, so you can see exactly how we've automated this AI voice agent using AI Studio, okay? And if you've never used this before, I'll guide you through exactly how to build these AI voice agents. And what you can actually do is once you've deployed them, like you can see over here, so we've deployed it over here. We can copy this over here. Plug this in. And from here, what we can do is we can go to a new post, for example, like add new, like so. And if we wanted to embed this on a website as a custom AI voice agent, we can go inside the chat and we can copy this HTML here, go inside the HTML block, click on preview, and boom, our voice agent is ready to embed on a website, like you can see. All right. And so if you've never used this before, let me guide you through it. But basically what you can do is create free AI voice agents using Google AI Studio. Then from there, you can embed these to your websites. You can actually embed it as a floating chatbot as well. If you want to embed it as a chat window, for example, like this, you can see it says talk to Goldie here, and this is what the chatbot looks like. And then people can click on it and start an SEO, start a consultation with their SEO, right? And so what we did with this is we actually went to AI Studio and we said create a voice agent that's a customer service rep for new potential clients for my SEO agency, right? And the way that we can do this is if we copy this, we're going to go back to start now. We're going to go inside build at aistudio.google.com. We're going to click on start, describe our idea, create conversational voice apps, hit build like so, and that will actually start to build it out directly for us. By the way, can you hear me better now? Quickstanger says, this is the best Christmas party I've ever seen. Thank you. I'm glad this is helping. And so from here, what we're going to do is we're going to click on allow. And now we've got the voice agent ready to go, right? And we literally just built that in like 1 or 2 clicks. Now, one of the best ways you can use this as well to really get customized ideas and help is you train it on information about you and your business, right? So for example, I could take this information from this page like so, we copy that, we go back to AI Studio, we paste that in, we're going to say, okay, now train the AI voice agent on the information below. We plug that in, and that's actually going to create a voice agent that's customized and personalized to everything inside my business, right? Incredibly easy to do, doesn't take long. And you can see how we can basically now not just generate a voice agent, not just deploy it and embed it across our websites, but also we can now personalize it to our business based on the information about me and everything else, right? Now, if you actually want to deploy or embed this voice agent on your website, and you can do this with chatbots or whatever you create inside AI Studio, then what you do is you click on deploy app, right? So you click on deploy app over here, you connect it to a Google Cloud, and you've got the app deployed like so, right? So this is the custom landing page, like you can see over here, right? And you can start the conversation right there. Now, what you can actually do from here as well, so if we copy that URL like so, we're going to go inside the chat now, and I'm going to say, okay, give me the embeddable code for my WordPress website to embed this voice agent in HTML. And then I'll paste in the deployed URL like so. And that's going to give me the code that I can then embed into my website. Now, if I want to preview that before I actually embed it to make sure it actually works, I can click on the preview option here inside the HTML block. And then if we click on play, we're going to click on show preview, and boom, look at that. We've got it ready to embed right there, right? Now, if we click on stop preview, we can copy the HTML like so. We can go back to WordPress or whatever CMS you're using for your website. We can click on add block, custom HTML, paste in the HTML like so, click on preview, and boom, look at that. We've got the AI voice agent ready to go. And then if you click on start conversation over here, you can easily start automating this, right? You can easily start having that conversation with the AI voice agent. You can also go back to AI Studio here, right? And you can say, okay, give me a floating chat widget for this voice agent, right? And that could be for the website. And then using the floating AI chat widget, what we can actually do is embed that to our website. So it's not as invasive, but we can have it across every page on our site as like a little chat bar in the top, in the bottom right or the top right, whatever, right? And so if we wait for that to load, it's going to create a floating chatbot, as you can see. So it's beginning to recode this out. And it says it's going to transform it into a luxury floating chat widget, restructuring the layout, right? Recoding it so you can see the chat widget down there. And then you can say, okay, give me the embeddable code. So we're going to go back here and we say, give me the embeddable code. All right. And I just need to make sure I've deployed this. So I'm just going to redeploy. There we go. Hit enter like so. And now actually give me the embeddable HTML for the new chat widget, right? For the widget that we're creating with the new voice agent. And the difference is that this one is like a lot smaller, but it's like a floating chat widget across our website. As you can see. So we've got that now. We can preview that. As you can see, we're previewing it, show preview. And there we go. All right. So it's super simple and easy to set up. Doesn't take long at all. And you can easily do this. Now, what's great about this is I'm going to show you the Voice Agent Empire framework, right? And what this is a simple 30-day system to build AI voice agents that can handle your business calls, qualify leads, and book appointments. And you can do this for free using Google Tools. You don't need to be able to code. You don't need any tech skills. You just can use plain English prompts. And the reason this matters is like, you're busy doing the work, clients' calls come in, you might miss them, leads go cold, customers get frustrated, and you can't be everywhere at once, right? So if AI can answer for you, and if it sounds natural, and if it knew your business inside out, and it was free, well, you can do that with AI Studio, and that's what I'm showing you today, right? So I've already shown you the Goldie Agency Voice Concierge, and this is a real voice agent I built from SEO Agency. It can answer SEO questions, qualify leads, book consultations, all without me doing anything. And I built it using Google AI Studio 100% free. Now, if you want to set this up yourself, I've actually got a 30-day roadmap, as you can see. And the first step is setting up Google AI Studio. So you just go to aistudio.com, sign in, click create new app, and look around and just get familiar, right? Now, I've actually got this prompt that can help you do this, right? So if we copy this, we can go into AI Studio, we'll go back, we'll go to build. As you can see, we'll plug this in. We're just going to make sure that we select conversational voice apps over here. And then from this point, we're going to say, okay, I want to create a voice agent for my, let's say, for example, it's for my AI Profit Boardroom business, right? And then I can plug it in. If I had a pet shop business, I could plug it in like so, right? The agent should be friendly, helpful, and guide people to book a consultation on the website petsareus.io, right? Then we're going to plug this prompt in like so, hit build. And it's going to start to do this magic, as you can see. So wait for that to load out, as you can see. And then, once waiting for that to load, my homework for you is like, just create your Google AI Studio account and explore 3 existing apps in the app gallery. So if you go to AI Studio here, and then you go back to the start, right? You can actually, if you go in the build section here, you can actually see the gallery here, and you can just play around with the apps inside here to get a feel for it and how it works and that sort of thing. So you don't even need to create your own app. You can just take a look at the other ones, explore what's in there, and then come back to it later. Now, if we go back to AI Studio, we've got the Pets R Us AI voice agent. This is a friendly pet shop assistant ready to help. And if we open this up, we'll test it out. Hey, what's going on today?
Hey there, welcome to Pets R Us. What can I help you with today?
So I really want some help on like how I can actually help my dog. Like I want to buy like a dog house for my dog.
A doghouse. That's a fantastic idea. They really love having their own special space. To help you find the perfect one, what size is your dog?
He's a small poodle.
Oh, a small poodle. We have some really cute and comfy dog houses that would be just right for a small dog like that. We have models in plastic, wood, and even some soft ones. Are you thinking of something for outdoors or indoors?
All right, so you can see how that works, how easy that was to build, and you can do that for any business using the prompts inside the AI Success Lab, completely free. Link in the comments description from today. All right, so if you just go to the AI Success Lab here, you'll see the community, and then if you go to Classroom, and then from here, what you're going to do is go to December, and inside the December section, you can see the Gemini voice agents training, and then you can see all the notes from today and exactly how to build this stuff. All right. So that was literally day 2 of this Empire framework. But really, you want to ask yourself, okay, what questions do your customers ask? What do you say on every call? What info do you need from your leads? And what action do you want them to take them? Right. And then you say, I run a business. You can do this inside AI Studio if you want. I run a business, and you just insert your business here, customize prompt. Help me list the top 10 questions my customers always ask. Then create simple, helpful answers for each one that sounds natural when spoken out loud. Right. And just write down the top 10 FAQs and the answers you give. Then from there, you want to create your voice agent personality. So your agent needs a personality. It's a professional format. Is it friendly and casual? Is it expert and authoritative? Think about your brand voice. And then from here, you can create a example, right? And so you can easily start building out your first AI agent using this. Now, I've actually got a full prompt for this, like so. All right. So if you go back to AI Studio here, again, we shall select conversational voice apps, plug in this prompt. And the prompt that you would use is you are a helpful voice assistant for example, Goldie Agency. You help people rank #1 with SEO. When someone speaks to you, greet them warmly, ask how you can help, and answer their questions about SEO and guide them to your desired action, right? Let's have a look. So I'm going to say, okay, you're a helpful assistant for SEO agency, Goldie Agency. You help business owners rank #1 on Google with AI. When someone speaks to you, greet them warmly, ask them how you can help, answer the questions about SEO, and guide them to booking a free SEO strategy session via juliangoldie.com, right? Keep responses short and conversational, no more than 2 to 3 sentences at a time, right? We'll hit build, and that's just going to start building out that customized agent to us. We can come back to that in a second. All right. Then you want to test and refine it. So test it, ask it questions, see how it responds. You don't want to put that straight onto your website just yet. Note what sounds weird, fix the instructions, test it again. All right. And if anything doesn't sound quite right, you can just ask AI Studio inside the playground. Here are some responses to my voice agent that didn't sound right. Rewrite the system instructions to fix these issues and make the responses sound more natural and helpful. Right. So if you have any issues with the voice agent when you're testing it, just go inside the chat, paste that in, type out all the problems that you have, and then it will actually fix it and retrain it to be better. Right. And then what I actually recommend as well is adding FAQ knowledge. Okay. So add all your FAQ content. Your agent needs to know your business, add your services, add your processes, add common objections and how to handle them. And then you can use this prompt here. So you just say, add this knowledge to my voice agent's instructions. Here's information about my business, paste in the information, format this so the agent can reference it naturally in conversation. And then just add at least like 20 pieces of business information to your agent to make it as powerful as it can be. Bear in mind, you only have to set this up once, right? You're not going to do it all the time. Now, Scully says, just built an app with 2 voice agents. One is for my company, the other is a customer. You can listen to them role play, download the transcript, then insert. Wow, that is smart. I love that, man. Love that. That is super smart. So here you can see we've got the audio visualizers. I think they'll actually transcribe it for us. And then we've got the conversation history. So let's test this one out. And this is, again, like the 3rd one I've built on today's video just to help people. So let's try this out. Hey, I'd like to rank my pet's website on Google, please.
Hello, I can definitely help with that. We use AI to get businesses ranking #1, just like yours. To get started, let's schedule a free strategy session on juliangoldie.com.
Awesome. Just before I do that, could you just give me some practical tips on SEO?
Certainly. Some basic tips are optimizing your website for relevant keywords, creating high quality content, and building quality backlinks. We can go into much more detail during our free session. Would you like to book that now on juliangoldie.com?
All right, so we're going to end it there, but you can see it actually transcribes the conversation as well on the right hand side. It's got the audio visualizer here when I actually talk. And it's super easy to do, right? Scully says that UI looks great. I would agree. And yeah, just even getting the transcript, then the audio visualizer. And bear in mind, this is a one take, right? We literally just built it in one take. So it really is so much better than it used to be. And again, I've already shown you how to embed it and that sort of thing. Right. Now, what you can also do is get your agent to qualify leads, because not everyone is a good fit, right? Whatever you're selling, you can teach your agent what to ask. So you say, create a lead qualification flow for my voice agent. I need to know blah, blah, blah. Right. This is a natural conversation. This agent should weave these questions in naturally, right? And you can add qualifying questions to your agent's workflow. You can also create conversational branches. So different questions need different paths. So for example, if someone asks about, if someone has a complaint, well, that's a totally different path to someone who wants to book in a new call, right? And so you can actually train the voice agent to create conversational voice branches. And there's so many different things you can get this. Now, King Ace says, can we get this workflow document? Yep. So what you're going to do, you go to the AI Success Lab. Now, if you can't find that, search it on Google and you will find it. All right. So you can search it on Google. You can get access to the AI Success Lab, this one right here. You can ask ChatGPT about it as well if you can't find it. But yeah, the AI Success Lab is where you want to go. And then inside the community here, you can see all of these different questions that you can ask it. And then also the classroom and the calendar and that sort of thing, right? And if you want to know how to really implement this into your business, if you need help, if you need tips on really leveraging this for your specific problem, etc., you can actually go into the AI Profit Boardroom, and that's where we really coach people on my best playbooks, right? And what works for me. So if you want to learn more about that, just check out the playbook inside there, the classroom. This is inside the AI Profit Boardroom. All right. So if you go back to the notes from today, which is inside this section, we've talked about lead qualification, conversational branches. You could also add objection handling. So if it's like a sales assistant, then you can say, people will have objections like, is this real? Or can I talk to a human? Or I'm not sure, right? And your agent needs to be able to handle those. So you could say okay, add objection handling to my voice agent. Common objections are in this list. Each one, write a natural empathetic response that addresses the concern and guides them forward. Don't be pushy, be helpful, right? And then just add responses for your 10 most common objections, okay? So the AI Success Lab as well, just to be very clear here, the AI Success Lab is free. So you can get access to that for free. And all the notes from today are free. And the prompts are free as well. We've got 40,000 members inside there. And it just connects everyone together. And then, you can follow this roadmap step by step. It's just a 30-day path. Shows you exactly how to implement all this stuff into your business. Yeah, and you can see how powerful this is. I've already shown you how to implement it, how to set up the UI, how to create this audio visualizer, how to embed it into your website, how to, for example, create the floating chatbot as well. Yeah, how to personalize it as well with conversational branches and everything else. Now, you could create support chatbots. You could create sales chatbots. You could create voice agents that handle customer complaints even, that sort of thing. You could create niche specific agents, that sort of thing. Probably a lot of clients, if you're doing freelance work as well. But the main thing is what I'd also recommend here is before you go live, and this is inside the plan, but just create a launch checklist for your voice agent system. All right. So you want to really just get a plan before you launch this stuff out because it's customer facing. So for example, final testing steps, announcement posts, metrics to track in the first week, and a plan for ongoing optimization. And then, by day 30, following this roadmap, you've done your full launch and you can start celebrating. All right. So I've given you a bunch of ideas that you could do. So for example, SEO consultation agent, welcome agent for new customers, business agent, And the main thing to note here is like some people say, well, voice AI sounds robotic and weird. Honestly, it doesn't. My voice sounds more robotic than AI's voice, if that makes sense, right? So I think for me, like especially if I'm doing a live stream, I'm just talking to myself. Like my voice is way more robotic than AI. And I get it, right? You've heard all those robot voices, your call is important, blah, 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 and they're terrible, right? But that was the old way. Google's new voice AI is different. So it uses Gemini, the same AI that powers their best products. It sounds natural, it pauses like humans do, it responds to tonality. And, we've tested it live today and you can see the difference, right? Jacob says, Julian, Goldie, you are superhuman. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you. And so the new truth is that modern voice AI sounds surprisingly human and natural, right? If you follow the processes I'm showing you. And some people will say, my customers won't talk to AI. And I thought this too. People want the human touch. They'll hate talking to a robot. But here's what I found is like people don't care who answers. They care that someone answers, right? And if at 2 a.m. they have a question, they want help right now. They don't want to wait for you to wake up and wait for business hours, etc. So I think a good voice agent, a good AI voice agent is better than a missed call. It's better than a voicemail. It's better than waiting. And when they need a human, the AI can hand them off, right? So the new truth is customers prefer immediate AI help over delayed human help. Other things people say is like this will be outdated in a month, and I understand this fear. AI moves fast. What works today might be gone tomorrow, etc. But here's the thing: Google isn't going anywhere. They're doubling down on AI. Every update makes it better, so it's not replaced but improves. And the skills you learn building voice agents, well, they transfer to every AI tool, right? Understanding prompts, creating instructions, testing and improving. These are timeless skills. And the new truth is like Google is only going to make this better, right? It's only going to get better. It's only going to improve, etc. And some people say, well, I don't know what to use this voice agent for, right? This is the most common one that I get. Cool tech, but how does it help me? Let me give you some real examples. So if you're an agency, you could have an AI agent that answers client questions, agents that qualify new leads, agents that book consultations. If you're a coach, right, you could have an agent that explains your programs, answers FAQs, collects lead information. If you're a creator, you can have an agent that helps your audience 24/7, agents that promote your offers, and agents that build community engagement. If you run a local business, it could be handling after hours calls or taking bookings or answering the most common questions. So do you see how this applies to you now? The new truth is that every business has calls, questions, and leads, and voice agents handle all of them. So that's what we're talking about. Herman says, how can you build a 7-page HTML website, not just a landing page in WordPress? I'm actually going to come on to that. I'll do a tutorial on anti-gravity later, and you'll see that. And then, wow, I need a couple of time to rework. Yeah, there's so much you can do with this. What else would I say? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Some people say, like, I'm too late. Everyone is already using this, but actually almost no one is using this. Most businesses still have voicemail, contact forms, and we'll get back to you in 24 to 48 hours. You know what customers hate? They hate waiting, right? So having a voice agent puts you ahead of 99% of businesses right now, today. You're not late, you're early. And the new truth is that less than 1% of businesses actually have voice agents. You're still early, all right? King A says he's just joined the AI Success Lab. Welcome to you, sir. So if you want to get the notes from today, go inside the AI Success Lab, as you can see, go to the classroom, right? And then inside the classroom, go to December 2025, right? You're going to scroll down to the bottom to the latest notes and go to new Gemini AI voice agents. If you can't find it, what you can do is you can actually use this search bar to search it, right? So you type that in and you can just find the voice agent training right there, right? But I would recommend that you just go to the classroom instead. So classroom, December 2025, and you can find the voice agent document right here, my friend. All right. And it's all there for you. So that's basically it. Now I've actually included inside there, it's pretty crazy, I've actually added 100 prompts for AI voice agents. So if you want to get all the prompts from today, you can get all of the system instructions, 100 different prompts for voice agents. As you can see, this is all completely free for you. I've actually broken them down by like personality and tone prompts, for example, FAQ handling prompts. You've got, for example, lead qualification prompts. It's all inside the AI Success Lab, completely free for you. Booking and conversation prompts as well. All right. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to the notes from today, I've already shown you. If you haven't already, check out the AI Profit Boardroom. King A says, is this better than Go High Level Workflow Agent? So it's different, right? It's different. Like the good thing about High Level is like it connects to your CRM, so that's pretty cool. Whereas with, for example, the Voice Agent, you probably want to, you probably want to make sure that you have a webhook that's linked to your CRM if you're using a CRM, but that's quite easy to set up with Zapier and that sort of thing, or directly inside AI Studio. But yeah, if you want to check this out, you can. What else we got here? Jacob says, do we need to use all 100 prompts in one agent? No, you can just use one prompt, right? As you've seen today. So for example, if you look at this voice agent, beautiful voice agent, by the way, literally we just copied and pasted that one single prompt from the homework inside the workflow. So you don't need to use all 100 prompts. That's just for inspiration in terms of how you can use it, how you can personalize it to your business and everything else, right? You don't need to use it all. And you can get this all inside here. So if you haven't already, check out the AI Profit Boardroom. This is where I personally connect with business owners like you. We have an amazing community of people sharing information, sharing our wins, sharing our goals. We actually have a daily accountability section here as well. So you can see Justin, for example, posted the daily action takers check-in, right? And everyone just posting their goals, right? So for example, Johan, and these don't have to be AI related, right? So for example, Johan posted morning routine, few errands, build with Claude, partner update meet, build, you get the picture, blah, blah, blah. You can see here, for example, Darren, he actually updated his, so fix tech glitch, continue with the Gemini app, that sort of stuff. You know, Portia, spending time with family. I think that's totally fine. Like if you want to spend time with family during this time, that makes sense, right? But it's pretty cool that she's involved inside the accountability group and that she's sharing this stuff, right? And you see all these people winning with AI, right? So if you're struggling with AI, if you're not getting the outputs you want, if you're frustrated with overwhelm, if you're frustrated with shiny object syndrome, if you need help and support, if you don't know how to apply this to your business, join the AI Profit Boarding, because inside there, what we actually do is we show you exactly how to do this stuff. And also, as soon as you join, you actually get what we call the focus protocol. And that shows you exactly how to avoid overwhelm and never worry about shiny object syndrome again, right? And we actually DM that to you as soon as you join. Now, inside here as well, you get all my best trainings on AI. So for example, like the 6-week roadmap that shows you how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes, and takes you from a complete beginner to becoming an expert with AI as well. You also get all of my best playbooks, like AI avatar videos, shorts, Instagram videos, YouTube videos, how we automate, for example, X as well. And this is all inside here. Top of that, inside the trainings, you get all my latest SOP updates, right? So all the new stuff I've checked out recently. You'll learn how to generate leads and grow your social media with this stuff. You'll, for example, get my NA10 templates, right? And we have over 1,000 NA10 templates for pretty much everything you can imagine inside here. And additionally, you'll get access to my agency training, plus my YouTube roadmap and my AICO automation training as well. And that's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. On top of that, you can jump on weekly coaching calls. And if you type in here, Go High Level, right? You can actually see inside here that we have loads of training on like Go High Level, how to use it, different stuff that you can use Go High Level for, etc. Jimmy actually did like a full coaching on High Level inside this training. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff. I use High Level personally myself for AI automation, so it is a powerful way to grow your business. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. So that is my training on Google AI voice agents. King A says, I'm using HeyGen for my Facebook and Instagram. I want to build a digital course that I want to resell. Yeah, so if you want to learn how to build like digital courses, etc., join the AI Profit Boarding, because inside there we actually have trainings on, for example, like school, right? And school is where I've grown my community with all the courses that I have inside there, right? And so if you want to learn this stuff, we actually have loads of training on school inside the community here. And you can learn, like, for example, our full growth plan on that, or how to grow a school, or how to grow communities from scratch. Bear in mind, I only started this community from scratch in February. And now we've got 1,900 members. Jacob says, is the AI Profit Boardroom free? It's not, but the AI Success Lab is. So if you want to get access to the AI Success Lab, you can. And that is free. So today I'm going to be running through exactly how to use Google Anti-Gravity. If you've never used Anti-Gravity, basically it's a free way to code with Google, and you can also get access to Claude as well. And it's completely free. You can code locally with this. You can build some amazing stuff with this, and you can download it at antigravity.google. Once you're in, you're gonna be able to build stuff like this, as you can see. And I'll show you, for example, how to use this to build apps, tools, websites, landing pages, almost anything that you want, and how to master it. It's very, very easy because literally you just type in same simple English, exactly what you want, and you can get started straight away. And today, what you're going to learn is how to set up anti-gravity from scratch, how to build your first app with one sentence, how to use screenshots to make changes, how to watch your app get built in real time, the exact settings you need to switch on. And yes, this is free right now because it's in public preview. All right. So we're going to test out today. We're going to use the anti-gravity acceleration system. And this is my simple framework for turning Google Anti-Gravity into a customer getting machine for your business, right? And most people would download this tool and make a calculator, an app, or a to-do list. And that's fun, but it's not going to help you so much, right? With lead generation, that sort of thing. So, if instead you could build like a lead capture landing page for your website, or a quiz that qualifies potential customers, or a tool that shows off your expertise, or a dashboard that makes you look professional, well, that's what separates those who tinker with those who build real businesses. All right. So let me talk you through exactly how we're going to use this, right? So first thing you want to do is just download this from Anti-Gravity. All the links and notes from today are inside the AI Success Lab. Link in the comments description, completely free community, as you can see right here, with 40,700 members. And if you go inside the classroom here, and then you shall go to December 2025, and then from here you can see that we've got all the video notes from today. And we're going to work through this 30-day anti-gravity mastery plan, as you can see, and we'll just run through exactly how to use it. So first thing you're going to do is download the version, open it up, like you can see I've done over here, and we're going to get straight into this. So understand the two views here, right? So you got two views. So you got over here, you got the builder, and you can switch between planning and fast mode. So you can choose your AI agents, and then over here you can choose the actual API that you're using to build and code with, right? Now, sometimes if you're using the free version, you're going to hit limits. So how do you overcome those? Well, you can switch between different APIs. So if you hit the limits on one, you switch to the next. If you want to plan out your project before you build it, you select planning. If you want to build out the project and actually code, you have to select fast over here. And then you just type in what you want in this section. Now, on the left-hand side, you will see the project files, as you can see, and that's basically how it works, all right? So what we're going to do over here is we are going to just start with something simple. So we're going to say, okay, create a simple landing page with a headline, 3 benefits, and the email sign-up form, right? So we're going to take that like so, copy this, and all the instructions are inside this section. So this is for building your first real project. Now, first thing you want to do is load up a new folder. Okay, so open up the folder, as you can see, and you just want to load up a new folder, right? The reason for that is because you're starting a new project from scratch, like you can see. Now what we're going to do is we're going to type in create a simple landing page with a headline, 3 benefits, email sign-up form. This is going to be a really simple, fast project. As you can see, we're going to select Gemini Flash. We're going to enter like so, and this will help you code out your first landing page with Anti-Gravity if you're just learning how to use this. By the way, I can see some people in the chat are asking for the link to the AI Profit Boarding. If you just type in AI Profit Boarding on ChatGPT or Google, or you go to the AIprofitboarding.com, you can get the link for it there. If you watch it on YouTube, you can actually get access. I saw someone else as well is asking how to watch this back. So if you want to watch back the full live stream, you can get it inside the live section of my YouTube channel. So you can see live stream right there. And then someone else was asking like how to build, for example, personal tutor. And I'll come on to that in a minute, right? So what you can see here is that the AI is now opening up the landing page. I'm not touching this, the AI agent, right? And it's beginning to check out the landing page, the opt-in form, etc. Now, this is very, very basic. The design and everything else is super basic. But that's the whole point, right? We're just trying to create something really simple and easy to use. So if we go back here, you can see it's now checking out, testing out, etc. Right? And I'm going to stop it there, right? Just to show you how easy and simple that is. Now, let's say, for example, you wanted to create a personal tutor. Maybe you wanted to create a personal tutor for something like learning, I don't know, learning Thai, right? What we can do here is we can open up a new folder. All right, so we'll open up a folder here. Let's say personal tutor for Spanish, right? We'll open that up, as you can see. And then from here, we can say, okay, build a personal tutor tool for learning Spanish, right? Or I don't know, Thai. I'll go with Spanish because it's probably easier for the AI to teach us Spanish than it is for Thai, right? And basically what it's going to do is start building out this app, as you can see. Now, again, if you were trying to spend a bit more time and care over this, then you would use the planning mode first inside the dropdown. But I just want to go straight into fast, so we're not messing around here and we're getting straight into it, and you're getting as much value as possible. Some people are asking, like, is this better than other tools? I mean, anti-gravity is really good because you can code locally and you come back to the project, and it's free, right? And it's also good for building out bigger projects. So, for example, if you're using AI Studio, you can build out like one landing page, one mini app, etc. But if you want to build out something bigger than that, as you can see, you can build out much bigger projects because you've got the files on the left-hand side, and these are saved locally to your business. So I would say that this is better for building out bigger projects. But if you want to create something fast and small, then you can use something like AI Studio. So it depends really how big the project is that you're building. So this is beginning to build out. As you can see, it's editing the CSS, the HTML, etc. It's going to test out in a second. Whilst we're waiting for that to load, let's come back to this, right? So inside here as well, what you can actually do is you can change some of the settings inside anti-gravity as well. So if you go to anti-gravity here, we'll go to anti-gravity settings. This is the app that we built, by the way, the Spanish app. But if you go back to the settings inside anti-gravity, you can see here, we can decide whether we want to review stuff, whether we want it in secure mode, whether we want to auto command, etc. This will, if you auto command, basically it will never ask for confirmation before it starts testing stuff out. So it depends. And then also you got options for auto continue and auto fix stuff, right? So if you flick those on, it's just going to automate a lot more of the process. You can also enable web tools or disable them, depending on whether you want the AI to be able to access the web. And that's basically how it goes. And the same for the browser, right? So for example, it can check out the browser, it can test stuff out in the browser, and then it's got a bunch of whitelisted pages right there as well. So let's X off that, and we've got the tool being tested out over here. And so this is the tool that's testing out. Right, so it says, "Hola, I am Carlos, your Spanish teacher. How can I help you learn today?" And then the AI is typing in "Hola," and it's testing this out, right? And then you can see at the top here, it's beginning. I don't think this will be fully built out, but you've got different options at the top. For example, the dashboard, you got the lessons, you got the stuff to practice, and then the tutor as well. And you can see how the AI has actually responded to us, right? So we've put in "Hola," it said, "Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hoy," right? So how are you today? And then if you want to, there you go, a bit of Spanish that you learned today, at least you learned something. And then inside the chat here, the AI is talking with the other AI, the personal tutor, to learn Spanish, right? So we've built that out in one single prompt. It was incredibly simple, isn't it? Incredibly fast to do as well. Some people ask, like, does this access local files? Yes. So this is all local stuff. So we actually right-click this, for example, click on Reveal and Finder. You can see that we've got all of these files stored locally, and you can store and open folders locally inside this IDE to edit things. All right, so this is working nicely. I say, can you teach me Spanish? And it's like, muy bien, can you say that in a full sentence, blah, blah, blah. We've got the practice section here. So these are like flashcards with audio, right? Obviously, hola means hello, and we flip it over. I mean, it's pretty nice. Like this, it looks better than other learning apps. I'm not going to mention which ones, but it looks better than some of the ones. Gracias, thank you. ¿Cómo estás? How are you? All right. La cuenta, por favor, the bill, please. Okay. And then mañana, which is tomorrow. All right. Flip it over, tomorrow. Boom. I'm too good at Spanish. I'm too good, mate. Too good. It's too easy. Once you know Italian, you can speak Spanish pretty fast, especially when it's as simple as that. And then we've got the classroom here for tutoring people. And we also have the dashboard here, right? And this is all personalized to me, right? It's not personalized to other people. It's personalized to me because these are the words that I've learned and everything else, right? And so obviously this is not 100% ready to go. You want to test it. You want to try it out. You want to make sure it actually works. But have we created a bigger like a 5-page website with flashcards, mini apps, a tutor that speaks to us, etc. Absolutely. Pretty amazing, right? And so you can just keep tweaking that. It's not going to be 100% ready to go, but it is going to be pretty good. All right, let's keep going through now. So once you've done that, what you can actually do is actually look at your app in the browser preview, and the AI agent will take screenshots of it and test it out for you, right? So the anti-gravity browser control actually previews and tested out my app, as you saw before we deployed it, right? So if there are any errors as the AI agent is testing it out, it will actually auto fix those before we find the problems, right? Which saves a lot of time. And you can see here the anti-gravity browser control says the agent can click, scroll, type, and navigate web pages automatically. Whilst working, it displays an overlay showing its progress and provides controls to stop if you need to intervene. Right, and then it's giving us a bunch of use cases, iterating on website designs, quality assurance testing, monitoring dashboards, automating routine tasks. Right, which is great because now you don't have to mess around with like terminal commands or anything like that. Now, what I'd recommend from here, we've already built a simple landing page, but now we could build something much better, right? So we could actually say, okay, and these are examples from the AI Success Lab. So all the notes are here. You say, okay, build a landing page from SEO agency, include a headline about getting more traffic from Google, 3 bullet points about benefits, testimonial section, and an email sign-up form, just to test it out, right? We're not actually going to launch this, but we can test it out. So here, I'm just going to open up a new folder again, test site. Let's open this up. All right. And you can see here now I've just got the blank files, right? And what we're going to do is type in this prompt as we mentioned before. And again, that's just going to start building it out for us. Right. So it's really beginning to build this stuff out for us step by step. Someone asked, like, is new folder, new project? So it's the same project, but what I've done is actually just open a folder and replace the old files, right? If you wanted a new project with a new folder, you'd go to new window here, and then you can create a new project, right? So if you open up a folder, this is going to replace whatever's inside your existing window. Everything that you code, though, will be stored locally inside the folder that you were previously editing. All right, so now it's beginning to code that out. As you can see, it's really, really fast. It's actually amazing how fast it is. And we've got the page like so, with all the information on it, and it's beginning to code out, right? And so it's got those testimonials. It's a bit more complex than what we built before. I still prefer the personal tutor. And now you can see the agent needs the input. So if we click on return to agent, we can go back to anti-gravity. And you see here, it's like asking us to confirm something before we test it out, right? So if we click on confirm, it's going to take some screenshots of the page, right, to fix or identify or correct any visual issues. And there you go. All right. Now we're going to stop that agent, but that's basically a simple example. And then you can just keep making it better, keep improving it. You might say, for example, add more space in, make the headline bigger, add a subtle gradient, make the buttons more clickable, etc. And this back and forth is how you really redefine your design. And then from there, just build a quiz interface, for example. And this is something else we could do. So, for example, we say create a 5-question quiz that helps business owners find out if they need help with marketing. Each question should have 4 multiple choice answers. At the end, show a results page based on their score, make it look clean and professional. So we'll go back to anti-gravity. You know the drill now. Open up a new folder, type in the quiz, open it up. And you can see we've built out so many different projects, but we've not hit a limit on the tokens, right? How amazing is that? And we're using one of the best technologies in the world for coding this out, which is Google Flash, one of the best tools that I've ever used when it comes to AI. It comes up with some pop-ups at the bottom. and you just click OK or don't show again, etc. And it will just start rerunning this now. And so we've got a full 30-day plan and all this stuff you can build out. You can have like multiple agents running, you can use a browser recording, etc. But you've basically seen how to build out 3 different projects using this, right? So quizzes, websites, landing pages, personal tutors, whatever you want, whatever sort of websites you can build, you can do this with anti-gravity. And this stuff looks really cool. I mean, check this out. This basic landing page that we built. This is the full tutor that we built as well. And then also we built out a full landing page, so you can see, for the SEO agency. Now, if we go back here, it's still editing and coding out the next project. But before we come on to that, let me talk about what you've done. So once you've got through that 30-day plan that I've given you, in 30 days, you just went from like 0 to building out apps with anti-gravity. And I would just say, like, with your projects, just say, like, okay, based on what I've built so far, what should I learn next to take my skills further? Now I actually give you a bunch of ideas. And I would recommend posting your progress inside the AI Profit Boarding, just so that you can share your wins and grow with the community. Because when you share stuff and you hold yourself accountable, like our daily accountability group inside the AI Profit Boarding, you're going to learn faster. You're going to get better results. You're going to hold yourself accountable. And you're going to really just, enjoy the process as well. All right. Now, some people are going to say, like, I'm not technical enough for doing this. And the right belief, we've got the quiz here, so I'll come on to that in a second. I'm glad it's done that. So also what I like about this is, like, when I'm just learning it run in the background, it will actually open up the tab and test it when it's ready to go, right? So you can see here it's selecting the quiz. Again, I'm not clicking anything or anything like that. It's just messing around with the quiz, giving us some ideas, testing it out, and then it will actually, you see here, all right, we're just going to click confirm on that. And then it's going to test it out, right? So it's just testing out all the questions, making sure the quiz works, and then it'll come onto this in a minute, right? And so it's built out this quiz as well. And again, like, the UI is clean. It looks nice. But if there are any bugs, it's going to find them and it's going to fix them if they're super obvious. So now it's reopened the quiz. And if the agent's using it, because you can see, like, the blue background. I'm actually going to stop that agent for now because I just want to explain some stuff to you. But you can see that was very quick to build out, right? So the wrong belief is, like, I'm not technical enough for this. The right belief is you just need to describe what you want, right? So let me tell you about the fisherman and the smart net. There was a fisherman who caught fish the old way for 20 years. Cast a net, pull it in, hope for the best. One day someone showed him a net that could find fish on its own. I don't understand how it works, he said. You don't need to, they replied. You just tell it where you want fish, right? And he tried it. First day he caught more than a whole week of the old way, right? He never learned how the net worked. He just learned how to use it. And Google Anti-Gravity is that net. You don't need to understand code. You just need to know what you want. Also, some people are going to say these free tools, they never actually work. But the thing is, Google actually built this with the most advanced AI ever, right? Google built this. The same Google that runs YouTube, Gmail, and the biggest search engine in the world. This uses Gemini 3, their most advanced AI. And yes, it's free during the preview. Is it perfect? No, it's still buggy in places. But it works well enough to build real apps, and it's only going to get better. All right. Other people will say, well, I've tried coding before and it failed, right? And I would say the right belief is you failed at the old way of coding. You didn't fail at coding. No one failed at coding. You failed at the old way of coding. The way where you have to memorize syntax, where one missing comma broke everything, where you spent hours hunting for bugs. That's not what this is. This is typing, make this look better, and watch it happen. This is dragging a screenshot and saying, fix this. You've probably had conversations with ChatGPT before. Did that feel like coding? No, neither does this. You also might say, well, I need to be a developer to use this stuff. And that's wrong. You just need to describe what you want. Here's a quick test. Can you describe what you want? If you can say, I want a page where people enter their email and get a free guide, if you can say that sentence, you can use this tool. That's the only skill required, being able to describe what you want. And the AI handles everything else, right? Other people will say, well, this is probably just hype. But we've tested it live right now. We've built tools, we built landing pages, we built forms, we built personal tutors, we built quizzes. We've tested it live right now. You've watched me use it in real time. And if it didn't work, you'd see it today. If it didn't work, you'd know. But there were no editing or fancy cuts in this, no pre-recorded stuff in this. It was just raw live testing, wasn't it? Other people will say, well, my business is different. This won't work for me. Every business needs the same core tools, right? So every business really needs a way to capture leads, a way to show what you do, a way to look professional, a way to answer common questions. And every business, every niche, every industry needs that. right? So whether you sell consulting or products or services, you need these things, and this tool can build all of them. Other people will say, well, it's too buggy to use right now. And I would say the bugs are part of learning early, right? Yes, it's a bit buggy. The browser recording feature doesn't always work perfectly. Sometimes generations take a while. Sometimes you need to try a prompt a few times. But here's the thing. Every early version of every great tool was buggy. The people who learned it anyway got ahead. And the people who waited for perfect got left behind. Don't get left behind. Some people say, well, I should wait until it's more stable. And I think the best time to learn is when it's new. Here's something interesting about early adopters, right? They don't wait for perfect. They will learn whilst everyone else waits. So by the time the stable version comes out, early adopters have already built their systems, they already know the shortcuts, they already have results. And the waiting crowd starts from zero. The early movers are already at the finish line, right? So let's answer some of these questions inside the Q&As. All right, let's see what we got here. Is that a one-page website or three-page website? Is it not an app because I heard you can't SEO an app? Yeah, so it's just a four-page website, right? With the dashboard, the flashcards, the quizzes, and everything else. Can it use MCP or does it need MCP? I think you can use MCP, but I've never tested it out. I'm sure you could get that to work. Zebprof says you need the Gemini Pro plan for using anti-gravity. No, you don't. You can use it for free. That was the worst time ever to code. Yeah, I mean, today is so easy to code, right? Like, yeah. And then Gemini CL, I promised it was me that failed due to coding glitch. I really respect that attitude, right? It's like I always blame myself as well. It's like if something doesn't work, it's not the tool's fault. It's my fault for not being good enough, right? And if I just get better, then I'll be better at using these tools and I'll get better results. So I really respect that, Mark. Like, shout out to you for really taking accountability there. All right, so thanks so much for watching. If you want to get all the video notes from today, it's inside the AI Success Lab, link in the comments description. This connects you with 40,700 members. As you can see, inside the community, we have all these awesome trainings. Lots of people introduce themselves, very active community. You get access to the video notes inside the December 2025 section. So just go down here and you can scroll down and then get access to all of this stuff. All right. If you want to connect with me personally, you can join the AI Profit Boardroom. Inside there, you can DM me personally. You can connect with 1,900 AI builders. You can post inside the community, share your wins. I would build with anti-gravity and then share your wins and get feedback inside here, because what's great about this is you can share your wins. You can ask questions. If you ever get stuck, you can get all of this stuff right here. All right. Mark says, if it fails, we learn to repair more effectively. That's it. If it fails, I get better at fixing stuff, right? So like, let's focus on solutions, not problems. And I think that's the best mindset you can have when building with AI automation. You can see here, like, loads of people posting cool stuff. And then also inside the classroom, we have 4 coaching calls per week. These are live coaching calls you can jump on. We actually have a coaching call later today if you want to jump on it. And then inside the classroom here as well, you get access to the 6-week AI automation masterclass that shows you how to go from like complete beginner to really mastering AI and really learning this stuff. Also, you'll get access to the playbook with all my best automations, from like how to automate your emails, Twitter, newsletter, shorts, AI avatar videos. You probably see a lot of my AI avatar videos popping up on whatever social media channel you watch me on. And then also you'll get access to the latest S&P updates from each month. You'll get access to lead generation and social media automations, plug and play, the NA10 templates and workflows, my agency course on how to get clients, Q&A call recordings so you can watch back from the coaching calls, the AICO automation section, and also the YouTube AI 6-week roadmap. So everything that you need to really win with AI is inside the AI Profit Boardroom. It's got an amazing, I think what really makes it is just being part of something with such great people, right? Like the characters and the personalities and the people that I've connected with inside the AI Profit Boardroom are just absolutely amazing. So yeah, absolutely loving it. Kazra, I was waiting for the coaching call with Santa yesterday. Hopefully Santa showed up, mate. I saw that you got a banana for Christmas. That's really kind of Craig Campbell to get you one of those wrapped bananas. Good for you, mate. And Mark says he might have been busy. That's it. So thanks everyone for watching. Shout out to Kazra for joining the live stream. He's an absolute legend, this guy. Check out his YouTube channel if you haven't already. And I will see you on the next one. All right. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.